Blah 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 blah.
What? Hello everybody and welcome to I'll Tell You What TV podcast. Apologies for being a little bit late, James and
Evening, James.
Is that a lemon in you know what, I've forgotten your dog's name for a second.
Bella,
is that a melon in Bella's mouth?
It's just like a ball you'd find at a kid's playground.
Alright, so you
probably nicked it.
I was going to say there's going to be some child somewhere. Mummy, my ball's gone. My ball's gone. Bella's like, I'm happy.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Well,
that's the face of pure happiness right there.
Well, I hope you're both well anyway, Steve, James, hope you're both well.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Good, yeah.
Well, I know Steve's been spending most of the day in the paddling pool today. Just to let you know, I have got a fan on, so if it gets too noisy for anyone, just let me know. It's fucking ridiculously hot at the minute.
Yeah, mental.
I've got my windows open as well, so when it starts going dark, I'm going to have to remember to go and close them, otherwise I'm going to get infested with giant spiders and bugs and all that kind of creepy crawly crap. Anyway, so we're going to be talking Formula 1 as we usually do, and a few other random things. We've got our predictions to go through that we made for the French Grand Prix to see how we got on with them, and with it being a triple header in Formula 1, meaning that there was the French Grand Prix last weekend, Austrian Grand Prix this weekend coming up, and then there's another one after that. I'm not sure what race that is. Oh, it might be Silverstone, I think. It might not be as well, I don't know, I'm guessing.
I think it might be, but I think we should also make some predictions for Thursday when England play against. I was going to say Bulgaria. It's not Bulgaria. It's Belgium.
Belgium. We could do.
With the World Cup being on, just thought might as well throw something a bit different.
Could do. Well, I am currently trying to do this podcast and watch Nigeria versus Argentina without sweating so much I slide off my chair and cripple myself. Okay, so the Grand Prix. I know I've mentioned a few times about how I make notes, right? And there was one race I mentioned where I got like half a page of notes. Another where I mentioned I got 4 pages of notes. This time I ended up having to get a second piece of paper. But my overriding comment from the whole race, even though I'd written so many notes, my overriding comment of it was, lots going on, but no action.
Yeah.
Now some may agree with that, some may disagree with that. What I will say, again, the whoever is in charge of showing the footage needs to be fucking sacked, because I'm sure James picked up on this, and I know Steve did because he messaged me saying something like, for fuck's sake. Who shows a replay? Hang on, who shows a replay of something happening and then missing an overtake happening near the front, and then having to show a replay of that happening?
The thing was, right, I was going to message you a couple of laps earlier, and I thought, no, I'm not going to bother. It's obvious that there's overtake, because I could see there were overtakes going on.
Yep.
Near the back. So obviously you've got your Vettel and you've got Bottas coming through.
Yep.
But the overtakes happening at the back, and we're just watching cars circulating at the front doing nothing. So I very nearly messaged you to say, why are we not seeing some of these overtakes from the back?
Yeah. Well, sorry.
Oh, sorry. News alert.
No, Nigeria have scored.
Yeah, Argentina could be in big trouble here. I
need to find where I wrote it down. It must have been in sort of the early-ish laps. Bottas, he didn't come through the field as quickly as Vettel did, and we will get onto that incident at the start of the race as well. But Bottas basically went from dead last to about P11, and we only saw one of his overtakes. So it was basically 7 positions he gained and we only saw one of his overtakes. All of Vettel's overtakes were boring, simple DRS moves where people didn't defend him. The couple of overtakes we did see of Bottas were beautiful moves in Le Bogier. I don't know if I probably not pronounced that right, but the right-hander after the flat-out right-hander. Some beautiful overtakes through there, even though Grosjean might disagree. But there was a lot of overtakes happening that we're just not seeing live. And I mentioned it, I don't want to just rant, but I mentioned it when Verstappen started at the back. Surely somebody in that production office goes, you know what, he's in a car that's faster than 14 other cars on the grid that are ahead of him. We might want to watch him a bit. Well, hang on, by the end of lap 1, after Vettel's fucked himself and Bottas so royally that it's ridiculous, how is there not somebody in that production office going, why don't we just do a split screen camera? Bottas, Vettel, there you go. I mean, why can't you do that? Have a main screen going, here's the leaders, fuck all's happening. Here's 2 more mini screens showing Vettel and Bottas working their way through the 14 shit cars.
Yeah. James, any thoughts?
any thoughts? I think there were one moment. I think it when Danny Ricciardo were under attack from Raikkonen after his problem, and Brundle even said, "Oh, whoever were working camera then, well done." I'm thinking that's the kind of production that you want all the fucking time, not just for 1 minute during an entire 2-hour Grand Prix.
Yeah, but do you know what pissed me off even more? Right. You see the overtake live, and they showed a fucking replay of what you've just seen from the same camera angle. You don't need to do that. Oh, okay, if somebody at that moment in time has gone, oh, you know what, I'm just going to look down and scratch my arsehole for a minute, and then gone, oh God, he's gone past. Okay, that could happen. But come on, there's too much replay bullshit and they're missing live action, and that for me is fucking ridiculous.
But if you are going to show a replay of an overtake you've just seen, then why not show it from a different angle?
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it's an onboard from the car in front or looking backwards.
Yeah.
As well, no offence, why not wait until you get to about lap 20 when there's fuck all happening for about 20 minutes?
And then go, we missed all of these. Yeah, we missed all of these, let's have a look. Also, did either of you get to see what happened to Fernando Alonso's wheel? I don't know how it broke. They never showed it on
just randomly showed it on last lap cockpit, didn't it?
Yeah, it's like, oh, hang on, his wheel's cocked over.
Was it something to do with the incident earlier, or the earlier incident with Vettel?
No, that was about 50 laps later. No, literally on the last lap, his left rear wheel was, well, his suspension was broken by the looks of it. Something had happened. There had been contact with something 1.5 laps from the end, and they didn't show anything. I know it was a long
time between, but sometimes with suspension, you can get...
No, the contact was on the front. It was like front left wheel, not rear left wheel. And there's been a lot of discussions on social media today, because obviously Alonso, with the contact with Vettel, had said something along the lines of, I can't believe he did that, I hope he's got damage and it ruins his race. I mean, it was minimal contact, to be honest, but it did spin Alonso round. But no, it wasn't caused from that, because that was front left tyre touching.
But how come that wasn't penalised?
Because I don't think there was anything in it, to be honest. In all honesty, I think it was Alonso was a little too quick and ran a little too wide through turn 3. Anyway, we might as well talk Vettel at the start of the race, because qualifying wasn't that dramatic other than McLaren having a shocker. So yeah, Vettel, start of the race. James, any comments on that one?
Well, I listened to his Vettel's comments on Paddock Pass with Will Buxton, which I actually prefer rather than anything else. Even Sky's coverage, I'm a bit like, as soon as the race is finished, I turn it off. Yeah, he was saying that because the cars were so close running down towards turn 1, and he was so far up behind Hamilton and Bottas were on the right, he said that he literally felt like he had no front wing going into turn 1. Now, for me, if that is the case, if he felt like he had no front wing and went into turn 1 and ploughed into Bottas, that tells me you can't race these cars properly.
Yeah.
Number one, yeah, he might have took a bit too much speed in there, and he might have completely fucked up, which is what it looked like. But if he's telling people that it literally felt like he had no front wing when he turned, then fundamentally the cars are not racing cars. They're okay. The qualifying cars. They're not racing cars.
Not just
time trial cars.
Not just
yeah,
that.
They can't race each other.
Not just that. Hamilton and Bottas were on the super soft tyre. He was on the ultra soft tyre, the grippier tyre, which is why he managed to get a decent start. Personally, I just think he braked too late and locked up and then hit Bottas.
If you're trying to follow somebody that close in these cars, that you do not have sufficient grip to make a corner, because everyone knows that, then why was he that close in the first place?
Because he fucked up.
Because he fucked up. But
I personally think the reason why we're having such mental starts to the race is purely because all the drivers know you can't really do much overtaking. Got to get it done in first lap. So we'll go for some banzai moves and hope they stick, and that's why you end up with like 3 or 4 people out at race on lap 1, because people are just getting to a point where they're like, well, if I don't fucking go mental and have a go at it, I'm not going to be able to do it during the race.
Did either of you hear what Max Verstappen had to say in the press conference after the race regarding
I did. Quite
this incident?
I did.
Yeah. Just for those that haven't heard, would either of you like to try and explain what Max Verstappen?
Oh, he basically.
Max Verstappen's comments.
Well, I'll let James see if James could do a Dutch accent, shall we?
Oh well, sorry.
That was Jackie Stewart.
Well, I was driving with finesse. No, I can't really do a Dutch accent, but basically, the gist of it was, it was basically saying all shit that the media were giving me, saying, oh, you need to change your driving style and change your approach. I hope that you're basically all going to be doing exactly the same to Vettel in the media from now on. And you know for a fact, because he's in a Ferrari, and he's a 4-time world champion, nobody will probably dare say out to him.
No, they won't.
Yeah.
But I did think it was funny the way he was saying. And so did Lewis Hamilton. He was giggling away at that as well. And rightly so, though.
Was the 5-second penalty adequate, or should I know that the stewards have got, okay, if this is the scenario, this is the penalty, but should they take into consideration the effects it has had on other drivers? Let's say, for instance, that had ended Bottas's race, which effectively it did do. But if it ended his race, should the penalty have been harsher?
Yeah. I mean, I'd look at it like this. If Bottas had been able to continue mainly unaffected, then 5 seconds wouldn't be too bad. But the fact that it's put Bottas to the back of the grid, and the only reason he was as close to the front as he was when the race restarted was because of the safety car. Without that, he'd have been nearly a lap behind. So
yeah, I think maybe they should adopt. I mean, it'd be a bit aggressive, but adopt an idea of, if you're the offending car and you've knocked another driver off, the amount of positions the driver loses in the 1 lap before they get back underway and get going. So, for example, Bottas pretty much lost. He were P2, and he lost.
The end of P18.
17 positions.
Well,
there.
16.
16 positions. So at that point, I'd say, right, you get 16 seconds added onto your pit stop, or something like that, so that it's a real punishment. You know, something make them think, oh shit, I better not do that because I don't want to have that penalty thrown at me.
I mean, I know that when we were doing Racing League and coming up with the rules for the F1 League, one of the things that we did factor in was whether a collision affected the driver a bit, a lot, caused damage or not. Nice little rhyme. But yeah, if it caused damage, then the penalty was more, because you've caused damage. If you've caused that person to pit, then you've effectively added 20 odd seconds to their race time just in pitting alone, not to mention any time lost from not having a front wing or having a puncture. So you could give much bigger penalties than that. I mean, I know the FIA for this season were basically asked, look, tone it back a bit, let us race a bit, and if somebody's clearly at fault, then yeah, give us a penalty. But I must admit, I don't think it's enough. I mean, to put it into perspective,
it wasn't. I was just going to say, it wasn't a penalty given because someone failed to make an overtake. They just fucked up at a corner and took a fellow driver out.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
it wasn't because they were trying to overtake them.
I mean, I've got to say, in my racing league last night, I had to pretty much put my foot down with one driver because at the start of the race it was.
That's where you've been going wrong, James.
Yeah,
putting your foot down. That's how you need to get from the back of the grid to the front. You need to put your foot down a bit more.
Yeah, we'll get this right. I didn't get a qualifying lap in, so I ended up basically starting from the back. And in a way, it were kind of good luck rather than bad luck. So
I've seen the crash that Jason was in.
Have you? All right, yeah. So it's Hockenheim Classic, right?
Yeah.
You've got Iceman. He's in a position. He's 10 points ahead in the championship. Second back in the championship is a driver called Satch in a blue and white car. And that's pretty much it. Them two are fighting out for the championship. There's 3 rounds remaining, including the race that was started last night. Pretty much, unless them two DNF all the last 3 races, it's between them two, right? Go through turn 1, and I were at the back, and all I saw were cars going into the air, flying, hitting other cars. It was just like Hollywood blockbuster, just like only, not as many flames. Cars going absolutely everywhere, taking out the majority of the field. I think it were 15 drivers started the race, and only 7 drivers finished. That's how many people were took out.
Yeah.
So it were a big crash. So anyway, I ended up like manoeuvring my way through the field and ended up finishing in like P3, which I've got to say, just from starting at the back, wasn't too bad. But at the same time, Iceman were out in the lead. I think there were another driver just behind him. Then there was Rodders, who has won the first 3 championships, and he's the same driver which I showed you the footage at Bannock Bray where he'd spun, and then he drove forward, hit a car, reversed back, hit a car, drove forward, hit another car, and I had to give him 3 separate -3 point penalties.
Oh, so someone's just got like 7 times 3 penalties.
Yeah. So in that one race alone, he had -9 points, and basically I said like any more of this, and it'll end up getting more serious. Now, because me commentary for my racing league is a bit more like jokey, a bit of a laugh,
laid back.
Laid back, yeah. I think some of the drivers think that the actual racing can be a bit more laid back. But I always want the racing to be as serious as possible.
You know what?
Take it. You
know what you'll have to do then? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting away a little bit from Formula 1, but that's what this podcast is like. There's a couple of things actually. We'll properly plug your league a little later on. But what you could do is you bring in a new character, and it's not Charlie Whiting. It could be
Jackie Stewart.
but it could be sort of your steward, so to speak. Farty Smiling, for example.
Charlie Blacking.
No.
Just don't make him a coloured character.
No.
That guy.
Sorry, you got me thinking about something else for a moment then. Someone else I saw today. But you can have that character and being very, very serious to try and put across that sort of serious nature of things. I mean, it might work, it might not work, but it might be a fun way to sort of. You could have it where he comes over to give a message to the drivers that sort of bollock the commentary team, saying it's all right, you guys having a laugh and doing what you like, but those drivers have got to do things right, because if they don't, they're gonna have to come and meet me in my office, and they don't want to do that because I live in a fucking dungeon, or something like that. But you could do that, and maybe drivers might think, okay, so it is a bit of a laugh with the commentary, but the racing's got to be serious.
Yeah, but I know I'll shut up in like a second, but basically, gist of it what?
No, you won't.
Gist of it what? Rodders were like in third place, and Satch, who's also fighting for the title, were in fourth place. Now running down towards the chicane on that long straight, Rodders was slightly in front of Satch, but there was nothing going on in front that would call for Rodders to change his position. Now Satch is on his left, slightly behind, but on his left. He requires a car's width. Rodders then just randomly goes full lock left, and both cars go out, cars go flying, and it's just a complete... It's basically put an absolute shit show on the championship, because now pretty much it's all one-sided. I felt quite sorry for the driver that got took out fighting for the championship, and in the end I had to put out like a serious thing saying like a press release. I'll send you it, boss. And I had to make out like a serious press release thing saying that basically, because this driver's got more than minus 12 points due to penalties throughout the season, he's got a race ban. Now I didn't want to do that, but at the same time, the resulting accident took out more than half the field.
Yeah.
I've then got to create a racing video, and I've got hardly any cars to commentate on. Yeah. So I need to have some form of punishment. I know you're a bit harsh, but at the same time...
The thing is, though, when it comes to... your rules side is one thing. When it comes to broadcasting side, at the end of the day, you can only show what is there to show. And if there's not many cars and there's not a lot happening, then unfortunately that's what you show, as not good as that might seem. Now, coming back to Formula One a little bit...
Just going to say, though, James, something that you could do to help, if you do have like a long period of absolutely nothing happening, all you got to do is make a technical error. Say, "Oh, sorry about the technical error there. We
lost the cameras for 10 laps.
We lost the we had a technical error for 10. Yeah, and just skip some of it."
The way you could do it.
If you want your footage to be the right amount of length as your normal footage, you could analyse the big crash at the start for a longer period of time. So your overall so you're not necessarily costing people.
What you do?
I'll do what Formula One do. And show a million replays at the start, and then go, "Oh, sorry, we missed the first 5 laps. We're now going to have to show you more replays."
No, what you do when the race is deader later on, double screen it. So you can have a small screen showing the race is still going on, but while this is going on and it's boring, we've watched it. We're going to analyse.
This is what I found on the internet.
Yeah, we're going to analyse what happened at the start. It might be a bit awkward for you to do with imagery, but it might be better to do it like when it goes quiet to do that. Or like Steve said, you cut out 10 minutes, and what you do is you go, right, I'm just going to run through the order. So you go 1 to 7, then you go, oh shit, the cameras have packed up for 10 minutes. I'll just run you through the order, and you go 1st to 7th, nothing's changed, so you ain't missed out. It'd be one way. It'd be one way of doing it. Getting back to Formula One, though, I will admit it's another race again, though, where, I mean, I just mentioned to you about whatever the race is, you've got to show it. It's another race where the footage, the broadcast, the show from the camera work was fucking dreadful. I really did not like it. I know I've mentioned on previous podcasts that the guy who basically runs the visual department has said that they've tried to get the cameras closer and lower, and at many tracks that has really worked, but at Paul Ricard it doesn't work, apart from one place, which was, you know, where the flat out right hander was. You could have a camera pointing back down that straight, so you see him come through the chicane and cars coming out, and you could see a bit into the distance. But anywhere else on the track, close low cameras just gave for, oh well, there's a car, he's gone, and that's it pretty much. So you don't get to see
I don't know if it was just me, but the camera at turn 1 aiming back down the start-finish straight, where it starts high and then as the car comes down towards turn 1, it gets lower and focuses in.
Yeah.
That seemed like a standard definition camera. It didn't seem like a HD camera. Either that or it were completely out of focus. I was like, what the hell's going on with that camera?
Quite possible.
And as well, the one round that fast loop before you get onto the long straight, bloody hell, it was so far away from the circuit.
Yeah.
It just went, I think even Crofty went, that's a lovely shot. I went, fucking hell, Carl looks like an ant. Tiny.
Yeah. I mean, Steve was right, though, with the... you might remember, James, Steve mentioned he wanted to see what you thought about the blue lines. Yeah.
To be fair, they didn't do me head in at all. Crofty were banging on about it, but I was like, it's alright.
Do you know what?
I would have preferred concrete walls.
Yeah, I think it's different. Because I've driven around Paul Ricard on a sim game, I know how it is when you're driving a car around there, and they do your head in when you're at cockpit height.
Yeah.
And you've got all these blue and white lines, and occasionally the red ones, coming flashing around everywhere and trying to work your way through the circuit, especially when there's like multiple ways that you could turn at a chicane. From higher up, I don't think you get this because the camera's stationary and you're watching the cars. So it's not so bad as when you're on a moving camera. If you know what I mean.
I wouldn't be surprised, that. I mean, in the future, I don't think that if they race there again, I don't think they'll get rid of the chicane on the back straight. Annoyingly, it'd be nice if they did, but I think if they don't get rid of the chicane in future, I wouldn't be surprised if they, at least for the viewer, like, quite often you might, like you used to see Bernie says, don't drink and drive, or you've got Pirelli adverts on Apex as a corners. Well, they're fake ads, as we know. I wouldn't be surprised if they do more of that in that chicane, just to pick out exactly where the track does go. For those who know, it's not a problem. Same for the drivers, they know where they're going. But when you look at that chicane from sort of a far angle shot, you can definitely tell it is a bit of a mishmash of, okay, well, yeah, I mean, Brundle was right when on commentary saying you've got a choice between 3 lefts and 2 rights. And for a non-viewer looking at it, it'd be very easy to go, well, which way they meant to go. And I actually did have it right. I can't remember when Kev was on the podcast with us, Kev Brooks, we were driving Paul Ricard getting ready for a race there, and we'd been on it for an hour or two, and his lap times were a little bit slower than mine, slower than I'd expect them to be. And I said, well, let me just follow you for a bit. I just want to see what my slipstream speed's like for my 8th gear. So I'm following him down the long straight, and I'm on the right hand side, and then all of a sudden, halfway down the straight, he wandered off over to the left, and I'm like, where the fuck are you going? Where are you going? And he was like, what do you mean? And then he braked, turned right as I braked, and turned left. And he was going right, and then coming through the left, and then doing the chicane bit that we were doing. And but it was very easy for him to get mistaken by that. He didn't know any different, and a lot of people could be like that with that particular chicane. What I will say though is, at the start there isn't any chicanes on the start finish straight, but somehow Romain Grosjean managed to turn left into a Force India. I don't know if either of you spotted that.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like God knows what he was considering there. It's just yeah, it just I was gobsmacked. He just decided to move sideways. But it was a bit strange how it was the 3 French guys that had collisions all in the first couple of corners on the first lap.
Yeah, very true. I know I mentioned that I've made lots of notes. To be honest, I have made lots of notes, but most of them it's just, there's not a lot in there. I am going to go through as much of it as I can, but I do know that when I got to the end of watching the race, I thought to myself, okay, if you could ask Lewis Hamilton one question at the end of that race, what would it be? So if you were able to interview him as soon as he's got out of the car, what question would you give him? Because I got to the end thinking, I don't know who I'd give driver of the day to there. I wouldn't give it to Lewis because it was easy, and I wouldn't give it to Vettel because he was a dick at the start.
Do you know what, right? Lewis Hamilton apparently was surprised that Vettel got driver of the day. It's like, how can you give driver of the day to a guy that's been given a penalty? So, so for me, give it to Bottas. He was the one that was unfortunate and came from the back.
I probably wouldn't give it Bottas either. But anyway, so if you were able to ask Lewis Hamilton at the end of the race, what would you ask him?
Who would you give driver of the day to?
I personally think it were a toss-up between Sainz and Leclerc.
Yeah. I mean, Leclerc did have a good race. He stayed out a long time on that first set of tyres, though. The question that I would ask Lewis Hamilton would have been, aren't you getting bored of this?
Yeah. I think I would have said, pretty boring, wasn't it, Lewis?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, though, for Lewis Hamilton, I think he probably does find it a bit boring, but if he can set a pole time and win a race and take another championship, I don't think he would find that boring.
Or, I don't know, after a while it does get a bit boring. But the thing is, there's a difference between getting pole, having a battle and winning the race, and getting pole, driving off and going, where the fuck's everybody else gone?
Yeah, but also he was able to pace himself, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was driving his car to the pace of the Red Bulls behind him. He had more in the tank if he needed it, but there was no need to.
No. I mean, he did say at the start, I thought it was funny when he said at the start, he goes, I didn't cause that, did I? And his engineer said, no, mate, it was all behind you, don't worry.
Actually, he said, I didn't do anything wrong there, did I? And the response was negative, Lewis. And that to me makes it sound like you did. Because I said his commentator, his engineer said negative, Lewis, as if to not agree with Lewis.
It's just the way you hear things, Steve, that's all that is.
Yeah.
It's like when the missus says, no, I'm going to bed, it doesn't mean you can come and take advantage of me when you like. Okay. Oh, James is disappointed now. Do you want to know something, right? The coolest thing I thought from the whole Grand Prix was the hover man before the start.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that the checkered flag came out on correct lap.
No.
I was wondering if the hoverman was actually legally meant to be there.
That's a good question. But, I mean, to be fair, that's an impressive piece of kit he was using. I'm not surprised he had a parachute, though. Just goes to show how much she trusted the hoverboard.
Makes you think, though, if he's having a parachute will only work from a certain height.
Yeah.
So surely in his mind he's got to think, well, I don't want to go too high in case I have a problem. But then he's got to go high enough that if he does have a problem, he can pull his parachute.
Maybe it wasn't a parachute, maybe it was a bouncy castle that expands around him.
Maybe he were on wires.
He was on wires. Wouldn't surprise me with the French. Okay, obviously at the start of the race there was a big crash, well, not a big crash, but there was the crash with Vettel and Bottas. Cars took evasive action. Some people may say that Verstappen and Sainz gained positions when they shouldn't have done. I must admit, I looked at it from Verstappen's point of view. There was nowhere he could go, nothing he could do than do what he did. It just turned out that by the time he got back to the track, he was in second place. And the cars that were between him at the start and Lewis Hamilton disappeared. Sainz was a little bit different though, because he did overtake a car through turn 1 and 2 while the crash was going on. So I think he was potentially a little bit lucky to get away with no action there. But once again, I'm a bit pissed off that the safety car comes out, no problem, but it's 5 laps before it goes in.
Yeah.
It's
But
five laps of the race have gone.
Max Verstappen did say there's still debris on the curb.
Yeah.
So it must have taken them that long to clear it up. But is your point?
Red flag it.
Basically, red flag it.
Yeah.
Restart the race.
Yeah. Red flag it. Restart.
Because that's what they used.
Race.
That's what they used to do at the start of a race. If there was an incident at the start of a race, majority of the time it would be red flagged, meaning the drivers would drive back to the start, and they would be in the original grid slots.
Yep. You don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect the
Just,
fuel. It doesn't affect the laps.
Just say a maximum 3 laps of safety car. If it's not cleared by that point, red flag.
I think the problem with
just red flag it straight away, because that gives them it'll be quicker to clear up.
Exactly. They don't have to wait for any cars coming past or anything like that. They can go get it cleaned up properly, done. I mean, the thing with, if you waited 3 laps and then gone, right, it's been 3 laps, let's red flag it, you could then say, well, we're done in half a lap's time. You could have gone, it's now taken longer. I think they'd be better off. I think they could learn a lot from this season and go, look, there's been a fair few incidents where we've used safety car or VSC when we probably could have just gone, you know what, let's just red flag it and make sure that the track is safe. Now, I'm not saying that we should go fucking health and safety conscious and too far, but from a spectacle point of view, I am getting a little bit fed up of watching racers laps going on under the safety car. I mean, if in football there's an injury, their time is stopped and added on at the end, and I don't see why they can't do that. Now, if it turns out, oh well, it's not good for the engines, well, I'm sorry, that's your fucking problem.
Make engines that can deal with it.
Yeah, make engines that can turn on and off.
Yeah, well, GP2 have engines that can turn on and off, because
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I saw them all. I think it were last year at Baku. There were a big pile up at that castle, and all cars sat there, and they just went turn off engine, turn off engine. They turned the engine off and sat there and waited.
Yeah.
No overheated, no happened. As soon as the debris were cleared, we turned the engine back on and drove off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the McLaren can do it.
The Renault can.
But it's not necessarily the fact that the engines can turn on and off. Basically, it's once you turn one of these Formula 1 engines off after it's been running, and it cools down, you're not supposed to just turn it straight back on again. You're supposed to warm the system through. How do you know, like when they're on the grid before they start the cars up? They start them up, but they've got like a generator there that pumps warm water through the engine, warming the engine up to a certain temperature before they start the engine up, so it doesn't damage the engine. So if you were to have a situation where, the cars were on the grid and they turned them off, and then 5-10 minutes later they turned them on again, they would have to allow all the
they wouldn't have to allow. They wouldn't.
Back on there.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't need to allow all of the pit crews back on. They just need to allow the crew member on that plugs in that particular system, because they're not allowed new tyres. And obviously the teams are going to say, oh well, we need to wrap the tyres up, or we might have punctures, we should change the tyres. But I'm pretty sure that they could fucking stop and get going in a quick enough time.
But if you said it was in the rules, Dave, and said this is the situation that's going to happen, so you're going to have to create engines that can do this without having to bring all the equipment on.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in Formula 1, within 6 months, they'd have a version ready.
Yeah. I mean, personally as well, I think they should. I thought this for a long time. I don't think they should be allowed to use tyre blankets. I think they should be made right. You get rid of tyre blankets, right? Then it saves money. On the tyre blankets, the machinery to get them up to temperature, all of that side of it gone. What does it do to the racing? It means that whenever anybody pits, they're on cold tyres, so it's going to take them a few laps to get them warmed up, which means undercuts aren't going to necessarily be as advantageous. But it means that if someone does come out of the pits in front of you, like you pit, come out, cold tyres, couple of laps, bit rough, right? The person who was in front of you pits, comes out just in front of you. Now their tyres are cold. Yours are just getting there. Now you've got a race on. And it brings a different aspect to it. I mean, they do it in GP2, GP3, they don't have tyre warmers, and I mean, no offence, but a cosmetics company makes their fucking tyres. Okay, it's not Avon anymore, but yeah, there should. Yeah, you got that. I don't think there should be tyre warmers, because
I was on about Maradona.
All right. Oh, Argentina just scored. Has he woke up now? Has he, Maradona?
He just gave a one-finger salute to the supporters underneath him.
All right, fair enough. So yeah. So yeah, I think they should get rid of the tyre warmers, and it make things a little bit more interesting there. And also it means that when it comes to the start grid, less staff needed for that particular part of it. And it also means when it comes to restarting, you don't have to worry about the tyres. It's down to the drivers to get them up to temperature. The only thing is, Pirelli are going to turn around and go, oh, we can't do that, or it's not safe, or the drivers go, oh, we don't want cold tyres. But again, that's where I think Formula 1 needs to go, hang on a minute, you're wasting money because you want something to be nicer. We'd all like to be in that situation, so let's take the fucking reins off you and set you some proper rules that could spice things up a little bit. Anyway, so yeah, I was pissed off, if you can't tell, about the fact the safety car was out for 5 laps. And one of the reasons I was pissed off about it was because of the predictions that we'd made, which was what lap would an overtake happen after the first lap. Steve went for none, I think James said 2 and I said 3, and the safety car was out for 5 fucking laps.
Yeah. As well, what I'm pissed off about is Brundle and Croft are going, oh, this has been an action-packed Grand Prix, this. I was sat there going, you're fucking joking, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, it's like I said though, there was a lot going on, but not much action. Was my view of it. There was a lot going on, but Vettel piss easy DRS overtakes on much slower cars is not action.
No. See, that's why I wish DRS would just fuck off, because you would have a bit of a race then. And because currently all the drivers that are slower than a Ferrari don't even bother defending. I was sat there thinking, if I was Sainz, I might have moved across and defended there.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, the DRS is so powerful, there's no point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I were in Sainz's shoes before I had that engine problem, if you could keep Vettel behind you, number one, you look like a hero being able to stop a Ferrari.
Yep.
Number two, you know what I mean? It's your one chance to get an extra couple of points.
Well, the commentary teams had it absolutely spot on with Leclerc. I mean, he was having a really, really good race. I mean, after the start, I think he was P6 on the restart. Yeah, Sainz was P3. I thought Sainz had a very good start. Leclerc was P6. So later on in the race, and the commentator, okay, if you're Leclerc, what do? Do you defend, or do you try and show Ferrari, look, I can give him a fight in a lesser car, or do you go, hello new teammate, I'll let you through? Now, for me, that whole situation is a bit of a horrible one. I've never liked it, because for me, I want to see every car battling, defending every car, other than even teammates to a degree. But I don't want to see Alfa Romeo Saubers going, oh, it's a Ferrari behind me, let me move out of the way.
Yeah.
Because to me, it just takes away the action. It'd be a little bit like you, James, with your racing league saying, right, anyone that's in a white and blue car, you're not allowed to overtake anybody that's in a white and red car, and if you're in a yellow car, you've got to let everybody past. That's not action.
Oh, no. Yeah, I would have liked, as well, the way that Charles Leclerc were driving. If you'd have took away DRS, all them overtakes that Vettel did would have been a battle for him to get through.
Exactly.
But because the DRS was so powerful, it would just fucking breeze past.
Well, that's
the
thing. Bottas, I know, sort of part way through the race, they were talking like, has Bottas got damage? And Ted Kravitz came in saying, oh, well, I've been trying to tell you, yes, he has. It was actually quite clear that Bottas had damage because his straight line speed wasn't very good. He struggled to make DRS overtakes, but that meant he had to overtake in different places, and that's what he did. Vettel, though, once he'd made the first move with DRS, you could see every time coming down the start finish, you were like, you could have a punt here into turn 1 with DRS, but you could have a punt here, or turn 3 maybe, or turn 5. But you could see he was just going, oh, I'll wait till DRS. Now, from a driver perspective, you can't fault them for that, because if that's the easier way, do it. But at the same time, like you said, you get rid of the DRS, and all of a sudden those overtakes become overtakes into the final into that chicane. Not, oh, I've already passed you. On the flip side, though, I did watch the GP3 and GP2 race on the Saturday, I think it was. I know the GP3 was on the Saturday. Now, after a few laps, I think the first sort of 5 laps of the GP3 race was brilliant. It was really, really entertaining to watch. And the DRS for them was getting you side by side into that chicane, which meant you were side by side coming out of it, and then side by side into the flat out right hander. And it was, has the guy on the outside got the grip to stay off the curb? Can the guy on the inside not understeer into him? It was really entertaining to watch. After a few laps, though, for whatever reason, DRS was disallowed. Right, they had to stop using DRS. The race just died. There was nothing. There was no action, pretty much. But when there was action, it was people realising, right, I've got to get right up his gearbox into the chicane so that I can try and attack him on the way out of the chicane into the flat-out right-hander. So it did make the drivers think more about where they were going to overtake, and what it actually led to for the few overtakes that happened was they happened in corners, not fucking shitty chicanes at the end of a DRS straight.
Yeah. So that's exactly what DRS was invented for, situations like that.
Yeah, get them side by side. Yeah.
In Formula 1, it's quite clearly not worked, but the thing for me is the reason why the race completely probably died was that the cars, even in GP2 and GP3, they've been designed with DRS in mind. So, whereas if you say to somebody, right, we're making a new racing level, let's say it's GP 1.5 or whatever, there's no DRS in this, and the cars have all got to be the same. It's like, well, how do we make it as action-packed without DRS?
Yeah.
They'd work the aerodynamic package around it and go, right, there ain't going to be DRS, so we need to do this in order to make the cars be able to slipstream easier.
Yep.
Maybe that's too hard for engineers to do.
Quite possibly. Okay, by lap 8, this is where my frustration really started to get going a bit. By lap 8, I wrote, there's been overtakes, but none have been shown. And that was mainly to do with Vettel and Bottas. Then we get 3 replays back to back, but while that was being shown, Ricciardo made a move. Now we've got to wait for the replay. And that's too much of a feature of me, and I know you two agree on that one. See, lap 10, Raikkonen passed Sainz. I mean, Raikkonen was doing alright, Sainz was doing well, to be honest. I was hoping they'd be able to actually go and get a podium, though, Sainz, in the early stages.
Yeah, Sainz was very, very impressive. Because I think Hülkenberg, when they qualified 12th and didn't make it in the top 10, but Sainz really did impress me out. I think it was a hell of a shame that his engine went in a limp mode like Ricciardo's did at Monaco.
Yeah. Let's see, lap 11 I wrote Vettel, nice move in Le Boisier. I think what the one overtake he did there. And then also for lap 11 I wrote, so while replays of the start are being shown, overtakes are being made. What the fuck is this coverage? So that's twice I've written it in 3 laps.
Yeah, well that's it exactly. But I don't understand why Crofty and Brundle don't call it out more.
Yeah.
Don't just say what is going on with the coverage there. All the overtakes we keep missing is the replays. If they did that, the FOM would be like, oh shit, we got out here.
They would.
Nobody dare say, oh.
Well, the thing is, I know Crofty was on the ball a race or two ago because he was calling overtakes as they were happening, but the TV cameras were never showing them. But that's what a commentator should be doing. A commentator should be looking for where the action is, but so should the broadcaster.
Yeah.
Okay, my next few notes could get a little bit boring. If you want to jump in at any point, go for it. Lap 13, Vettel passed Perez with DRS. Lap 14, Vettel passed Grosjean. Now he's P8, possibly going to the end. Lap 15, Bottas, nice move into turn 1 on Perez, which I think was one of the very few overtakes in turn 1. But Bottas had gained 7 places. Okay, so from lap 11 to lap 15 I've written but Bottas has gained 7 places, only seen 2 of his overtakes. I mean, that for me is fucking ridiculous. It'd be like someone scoring 7 goals and going, you know what, we're only going to show you 2 of them now. Lap 16, Hulkenberg, nice DRS overtake on Grosjean. Lap 17, Leclerc, P7, has got Vettel behind him. Didn't defend, Vettel now P7. Lap 18, Vettel DRS past Magnussen, who was in P6, so Vettel up to P6. And that was the thing that the DRS pissed me off a lot here. Lap 20, Bottas, nice move on Grosjean in Le Bogier. Struggling with straight line speed, as I mentioned. Vettel's overtakes are all with DRS. Lap 20, Vettel DRS on Sainz. And then I went on to write, I don't know if you agree with this, no skill needed. For every one of his overtakes, there was no skill, ability, talent, or anything like that required.
All he needed to do was get his braking point right, and he'd be done.
Well, this is where the argument again of take away DRS, and it forces cars into overtaking in other places. And okay, DRS has been brought in to help aid overtaking. But I kind of agree with what you were saying earlier. Just fuck it off, and then basically they've got to overtake somewhere. And if that means you can't overtake down a long straight, okay, overtake in a corner somewhere, like Bottas had to do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only thing I will say for Vettel's DRS overtakes is it just emphasised how much better Bottas's overtakes in the corners were for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Also on lap 20, Vettel 30 seconds off the lead. Possible rain in 20 minutes. Never fucking came though, did it? And then I wrote
unlucky for you.
Yeah, unlucky for me. Then I wrote bit boring really. Hamilton cruising, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Raikkonen can't keep up. I don't know what your thoughts are on those guys not being able to keep up.
Well, it's just yeah, I was quite surprised, to be fair. I didn't think it would be a Red Bull circuit, but quite clearly that straight was just so long that the Mercedes could stretch its legs. But it's just, in a way, I can't wait. I know you shouldn't say this straight away, but I can't wait for next season, just because they're all in a similar boat with wings.
Well, also, just to say though, Dave, with that long straight, it's not just that long straight. The Mercedes had their new spec engine.
Exactly.
But whether it was their... I don't think it would have made any difference if it was their new spec engine or whether it was a new engine. The fact that it was a new engine meant that it had no running on it apart from its test mileage.
Yeah.
So it's brand spanking new equipment that can be run at high power down that long straight or at any point on the circuit whenever it wants without too much of a fear. And then, you know, you've got the 2 Red Bulls that are thinking, we're in a Renault, we don't know if this is going to last the race.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, that's what I was going to mention about Mercedes having their new engine for that race, and that, I mean, I don't want to get on to talking engines, but Mercedes for the last 2 races have struggled a bit. And a big portion of that could be down to the fact that their engines haven't been as fresh as everybody else's. This race, fresh engine, Bosch knocked it out of the ballpark. Everyone goes, oh, Hamilton's fantastic. Well, hang on a moment. I don't disagree that he isn't fantastic. He can even sing a bit. But if you've got a Mercedes with a brand new engine against a Ferrari with a 1 race old engine, a Red Bull with 1 race old engine, the Ferrari's got an advantage, and that for me is an unfair advantage. And that's not to say that Mercedes had an unfair advantage. It is any team that has a brand new engine when other teams do not, or has a fresher engine when other teams do not, is an unfair advantage. And that is why they should have an engine for every race or every weekend, because at least then every team can go to the race going, right, we've got the best engine that we can possibly bring to this event.
I agree.
Okay.
And if it's too expensive, let them all use V8s.
Yeah. Yeah, make them fucking cheaper, and if that means getting rid of the hybrid systems, then go for it. Because not being daft, I don't want to have to fucking plug in a car for 20 minutes before you can actually fucking drive the cunt. It's true though, isn't it? Can you imagine if you're late for why you're late for work? Well, I had to warm the car up. Okay, lap 23. I don't know if either of you thought this at any point, but on lap 23 I wrote down, will Ferrari screw Raikkonen at some point to help Vettel gain? Now this was at a point where I thought, okay, Vettel may go to the end on his tyres, and if he does, are Ferrari going to screw Raikkonen? And you know what, I think if Vettel hadn't have pitted again, they probably could have done, because Raikkonen was obviously, he was miles behind once he'd made his pit stop.
I'm surprised they didn't do something sooner, in a way that could have put the Mercedes under pressure with Raikkonen. Even if it meant, what if Raikkonen pits early to put on a newer set of tyres to put pressure on the front runners, because if he puts pressure on the Red Bulls that he's going to undercut them, they've got to respond. If they respond, then maybe Hamilton would, and so there'd be a knock-on effect, and that would have brought them all closer for Vettel.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I mean, when Raikkonen made his pit stop, he came out 8 seconds behind Vettel, which, when you consider both drivers had made a pit stop, I know Ferrari have already said they won't do pit stops unless it's necessary, but they don't have that theory like Red Bull do of, well, we're going to be second and third, but you know what, if we roll the dice a bit, we could end up first and third or first and second. You never know. Ferrari just don't seem to do that, unless it's, Kimi, stay out for as long as physically possible and then stay out for a bit longer. Oh, by the way, we will give you the fastest tyres to finish on, but by that point we may have already fucked you over. I'm just glad that Vettel did have to pit again, and that just allowed Raikkonen to go for it, because when Raikkonen had his new tyres on, he was 8 seconds behind Vettel, but he closed that gap quick enough, and I would have loved to have heard what noise Raikkonen may have said or made when he did go past Vettel, because that, I wouldn't say Vettel let him past, but he definitely made it look like he didn't, if you know what I mean. He didn't sort of pull off the racing line and go, okay, go past. It was more of, okay, you're behind me, you've got DRS, go off the racing line and go past me, no problem.
Whereas if you noticed all the other ones where it's like, oh fuck, they've got DRS behind me, they're obviously coming past me, they still moved to the inside. So the guy that got the DRS was coming past on the racing line. And it was almost as if they were moving out of the way to let this guy coming past us on with DRS. With Vettel, it was like, no, I'm staying on the racing line. If you want to overtake me, you're going around me.
Okay, a few more of my notes here. Let's see, lap 23 again. Leclerc close to Grosjean for P7. I mean, to be fair, Grosjean wasn't doing too bad. Low tyre degradation. Raikkonen on 24 lap old ultra softs were faster than Vettel on softs. Let's see, lap 24, Leclerc went off. Oh, did you see that as well? Yeah, Leclerc went off, and then Hülkenberg passed him, but they didn't show a replay of it.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yep. Now, it's only by sort of sheer chance that I caught it, because what they showed was, I think they showed Hülkenberg ahead of Leclerc, and then they showed Leclerc running a little bit wide. So they showed a replay of Leclerc running a little bit wide, but you can tell he's run wide, he's got Hulkenberg behind him. That's coming out of turn 2. By the time they're on the fast long straight, Hulkenberg's already ahead, and we never saw the overtake. But there we go. Lap 26, Max pits for stops. He doesn't pit for stops. He pits for softs. Comes out ahead of Vettel. Raikkonen and Ricciardo could be behind Vettel, who could go to the end. What did you think of Verstappen's race? Obviously, the first part of this season, all three of us have bashed him. He did all right last time out. What did you think of him this time?
I think
Kept out of trouble.
Yeah, I think it was his first solid race of the season.
But he had nothing to do. He just had to do what Hamilton did, which was just drive around the circuit.
Towards the end of the race, he was catching Hamilton. Do you think without the incident at the end in the VSC, he could have caught Hamilton?
Nah.
That means you've just written yourself out of a point then, Steve.
I think Hamilton probably just turning his engine down.
Yeah, quite possibly. No, I thought Verstappen did very well, and with his comments after the race, I mean, if he'd have made those kind of comments after having to shunt himself again, it'd be a little bit like, hang on a minute, what are you doing, youth? But because he has had a decent race and he's done well, then he can get away with saying that kind of thing. So yeah, I thought he'd done a very good job.
I think though, with him catching up Hamilton, then the VSC came out. I think it was Hamilton was just waiting for it to be at a certain distance for him to go, okay, I need to keep him at that distance, and then he'd have picked his pace back up again. He was just
cruising
in an engine mode that was sufficient to not put so much damage on the engine.
Considering how hot it was at that track, and Hamilton is someone who usually tends to sweat a lot, when he got out of that car, it looked like he'd just turned up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that when Verstappen got out, this car they've just been into the Grand Prix and they look like they've just not even been for a jog.
Yeah.
Or like back in the day when you saw Mansell get out of a car, it looked like he'd probably had shit himself. You know?
Yeah. But I know what you mean. I mean, the thing is, okay, we're all unfit. I'm sure if we tried racing on a driving game in the temperature that we're suffering at the moment, it wouldn't be long until you're sweating so much your boxers become part of your body. But seeing those guys getting out of the car with barely a bead of sweat on them, I don't know. I wouldn't say it means that Formula 1 is too easy, but for me it did hint at the fact that Lewis Hamilton didn't have to really work for that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like I say, get rid of wings, soon see him sweating.
Oh yeah. Lap 27 was probably one of my highlights of the race, when the notification came up to say Sorokin 5-second penalty for driving too slow under the safety car.
And he was at the back as well. So it wasn't like he was holding anyone up that was behind him.
No. I don't know how you get that kind of penalty under a safety car, but he managed it. Congratulations to him for that one. I then also wrote on lap 27, Sainz pitted for softs. Lap 29, Bottas overtook Leclerc, another nice move if I remember rightly. Could have been DRS one for all I know. Lap 29, Ricciardo pitted for softs and Vettel was ahead. I must admit, when Verstappen pitted and came out just ahead of Vettel, I did think at that point, oh, Ricciardo Raikkonen could be behind Vettel here. I didn't expect Ricciardo to end up 5 seconds behind Vettel after he'd pitted. That was
I reckon if Ricciardo had pitted on the same lap as Verstappen, like done a double stack, I think he would have come out literally right on the tail of Vettel coming out of the pit lane. But like you say, he wasn't even out of the pit lane, and Vettel were almost down braking for turn 1.
Yep. Lap 29, Perez retiring with an engine issue, and that was a brand new engine as well.
To be fair, I don't really care. Yeah, when they were like almost crying about it, I was like, yes, in your face, little dick.
No Mexican food, or James, never go to a Mexican restaurant. Right. Never do.
This is it. I haven't even told you, Steve. Tomorrow I'm going to Italy with Vicky just for 5 nights. Right. So if there's any Ferrari people over there, you know, just send me a free margarita and I'll be happy.
It's not salt in that drink, James.
I reckon I won't be invited to Mexico anytime soon.
No, definitely not. Okay, I also wrote there on lap 29, why hasn't Raikkonen pitted yet? He's going to wonder how Vettel has got ahead, which I must admit, if I was in his position, I would have done. When you're like, hang on, he was at the back. How is he now ahead of me when we've both made a pit stop? But we know how it ended up. Lap 33, Hamilton pitted for softs. Did more laps on the super softs than he did on the softs. That surprised me a bit. I'm surprised that they went for the softs for the last 20 laps and not the ultra softs, or at least did as many laps on that first stint as they did.
I think what it was, if there was another safety car due to come out, or if another safety car or VSC, I know the one came out near the end, but if there was one not long after they pitted, other people could have pitted and put on a tyre that could have put them under pressure if they were on a tyre that would have degraded to a quicker rate than what the soft did.
Possibly.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. By lap 33, Ricciardo was catching Vettel. Vettel was definitely struggling on his tyres, and Ricciardo made a lovely move on him in Le Bourget a lap later. I must admit, I do like it when I see Ricciardo overtaking Vettel, and I'm pretty sure he likes it as well. That's Ricciardo, not Vettel, obviously. Lap 35 is when Raikkonen pitted. Came out on the super soft tyre, so he must have used the ultra softs at the start then. So 35 laps.
Ferraris did.
Yeah, 35 laps on the ultra soft tyre, to then only need to do what, 19 laps on the super soft.
Yeah, his strategy baffles me big time, because his first stint to be so long, and for them to then change to a 2-stop strategy, I don't understand. You know, the concept of that. I don't get it.
I don't. Hamilton, he was on super softs and pitted at the end of lap 33. Raikkonen on the ultra softs goes 2 laps longer, and he wasn't particularly quick. Was Raikkonen. I know I said on lap 24 he was still faster than Vettel on the softs, but not long after that he wasn't. And I'm a bit like you. I'm like, hang on, why are they keeping him out this long? Because all he's doing is losing time.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider that Verstappen had already pitted, Ricciardo had already pitted, Vettel's going to be ahead of him, and to me it just rang a bell of Ferrari are doing whatever they can to get Vettel ahead of Raikkonen, and that is how they've done it. It turned out though that Vettel needed to pit again, which was brilliant, because Raikkonen's end of the race was absolutely phenomenal, to be honest. Okay, I mean, when Raikkonen came out of the pitch, 8 seconds behind Vettel he was. I mean, that for me is ridiculous, considering that Vettel was at the back of the grid. But there you go. Lap 36, Leclerc on the super softs passed Alonso. I must admit, after Leclerc had made his pit stop, because he went long as well, he was sort of battling P6 to P8 earlier in the race. By the time he came out of the pits, he was in P12, which I think if I was him, I'd have been a little bit like, hang on a minute, what's happened to our points paying position I was in 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, like they banked on him having superior grip at the end of the race, but what they didn't bank on were he's in a fucking Sauber. And the thing was, he'd got it in an amazing place. It's like stick or twist, and they played twist rather than stick.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to consolidate the position you've got in, which was way more than what that car deserved. I don't know, but
I'm personally, I can already kind of see two drivers on the way out of F1. One's going to be Ericsson, because well, no offence, but if he's that good, he should be doing the same job as Leclerc.
Yep.
So Ericsson's on his way out, and number 2, Grosjean. It's just utter shit.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember where Grosjean finished. Did he score a point, or is he still pointless?
No. I think
the drivers that I really couldn't care less about are Perez, Grosjean, and Ericsson. Them 3, they've got in a level below.
Hang on a minute. I was going to say you didn't mention Magnussen. Has Magnussen gone up in your book?
He has, even though he's a complete dick. Them 3.
Oh, we've just lost James.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, them 3. No offence. Perez, he's all right as a midfield runner. He's never going to get another chance up at a top team. But the other 2, Grosjean and Ericsson, just do not deserve to be in Formula 1.
Grosjean.
I don't think Stroll should be there.
No,
to be fair.
awesome.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, that's in another category. Sorry.
yeah, that is it. Yeah, that's in another category we'll get to in a minute. Grosjean finished 11th, so he is still pointless, unfortunately. But to be fair to him, his missus is a stunner.
Well,
He must have a big cock.
Yeah, typical bloke response that. Yeah, typical bloke. He must have a big dick. He must have loads of money.
Did he have a crash in quali? He did, didn't he? He did. He binned it in Wally in top 10.
Yes, he
got
did.
through at top 10 and then binned it.
Yeah, turn 3, wasn't it?
But you know what? I never noticed this, but actually, Helmut Marko makes a lot of sense. Last year, he says, the thing is, if one of my drivers does something like that, there's a big hoo-ha. But Grosjean does this every single weekend and nobody bats an eyelid. And he's right. He's completely right. Yeah. Every weekend Grosjean bins something.
It's
interesting. You can't have a weekend without binning it.
It's interesting. Grosjean's sort of gone back to having the type of season he had before he had to take a break. Maybe he needs another break.
I just personally think he's got all the capabilities of being a top Formula 1 driver, but not the mental capacity to actually do it as a job.
Quite possibly.
I think he just cracks way too. He reminds me a bit of what Rosberg used to be like in like 2014, just cracked all the time.
Well, here's a question for you then: who's better, Leclerc or Van Dorn?
Leclerc.
Well,
so why did Fernando Alonso say, I'm beating the best youngest driver out there by 0.2 of a second in Van Dorn? James has just been shouted. I heard Vicky shout something.
TV remote?
Oh, I thought she shouted, "Where's me fucking arrow?"
Where's the TV remote? Well, hang on. It was there, wasn't it?
I know where it is. James, stand up. You're probably sitting on it.
Oh, no, tell us to use the batteries last night.
We've only just found it. It went down the sofa. We've only just found the bugger.
Okay, anyway. Let's see. Lap 37. Verstappen was catching Hamilton with fastest laps. It was nice to see. I mean, this is something not necessarily about Verstappen, but about Red Bull. Definitely, sort of this season and a bit last season, you wouldn't really see him very often go, just turn the engine down, look after it. They're still pushing. They're pushing and pushing and thinking, if you have any problem, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. I might not be able to beat you straight out in pace, but I'm going to keep going, because if you do have a problem, I want to pounce. So I do like that. Raikkonen was catching Vettel. Magnussen catching Van Dorn. Not very exciting. And lap 38, Magnussen DRS past Van Dorn. Also not very exciting. Lap 38, Hulkenberg pitted, I think, might have been for the second time, I can't remember, for the Ultra Softs. No, it wasn't, it was in one stop, wasn't he? Pitted for the Ultra Softs, and he was in P10 at that point. And I did think, you know what, he might have a chance of gaining a bit here. But unfortunately, he couldn't. See, lap 39, Leclerc got past Hartley. Hartley, probably another driver who James might think actually shouldn't be on the grid. Lap 39 again, Raikkonen manages to get past Vettel. Lap 40, Alonso complaining. The good old Alonso complaints of complaining about the car, the position, the tyres. And I actually wrote down, how long until he retires? I honestly did think that they would just retire the car.
Yeah, but one of his, I've seen some radio chatter, and one of the messages he put across is, this isn't fun anymore. That was one of his radio messages, this isn't fun anymore. And I'm just wondering whether he didn't just mean this particular Grand Prix. I'm just wondering whether it means in general, because when he was starting to have a dig at Honda, like GP2 engine and all of that, it was sly remarks like that. And now it's you know, this isn't fun anymore. It's, you know, how much can McLaren do to keep him happy? And I think the only thing McLaren can do to keep him happy is to start racing in a different formula.
Give him a Fredo. Fredo Gates.
Oh,
fucking
Jesus.
brilliant.
That's a fucking...
Did both of you watch that press conference? I were in stitches.
Unfortunately, no, I haven't. But I have heard a little bit about Fredo Gate and Martin Whitmarsh just coming out of nowhere with a bit of a comment, and then Fredo Gate, and then the shittest weekend in McLaren history for a long time. It's like,
yeah. Well, apparently the gist of the story is, in order to keep up team morale, Eric Boulier personally sent every single employee at McLaren a Fredo. But he probably went, oh, I need to keep them cheered up. I'll just send them a little chocolate each, you know. Yeah. They would cheer them up on a Monday morning.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's a good idea, that.
But do you think that any of the employees would actually give a shit about having a fucking little tiny chocolate?
Well, I don't know. I did watch the McLaren documentary. There's a few of the younger ones there that might have gone, oh, lovely. And the older ones going, fucking 40p for one of them. They were 5p a my day.
It would have, to be fair, it would have got more respect if it had given them all an ice pop. And, you know, just you know, especially in this hot weather, just to give them something from the ice cream van.
Maybe that's what's pissed them off. The Fredo was actually melted.
Yeah.
But so yeah, in the press conference, it was hilarious because literally this one journalist from like the Daily Mail or whatever were like, so Eric, you know, after this entire debacle of like the car being nowhere near good enough, your drivers, both of them criticising the car, Alonso winning another Formula is clearly good enough to win races, but yet you're not giving him the equipment. You've signed Renault. That should have been the booster to get you up at the front. It's clearly not working out. When are you going to resign? It was fucking hilarious because they were like, I can't do it without doing it, we are on a journey. We're basically just going, we are on a journey. This is not. I'm not going to resign. And then the next person went, so we're going on a journey. How long's this journey going to take? It was just fucking brilliant. Everything he said, the next journalist picked up on what he'd said, and then we're like, right, let's see if we can fucking make him crack. And literally, by the end of the press conference, they were like, I'm not talking anymore. And they were all like, you've come to a press conference to talk to the media, and now you're saying you don't want to talk. If you don't want to talk, what are you doing here? And they were like, his face were bright red, and fucking Christian Horner looked like he were having a right laugh. Yeah. But yeah, I've always kind of felt this about Eric Boulier. not only does he just not, he might be shit at his job, but
he's never been a manager of a team that's been successful. Every team he's been at has done shit.
Mediocre. Yeah. But I've always just thought to myself, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like... I think another one, I don't know if you remember, he were at Williams for ages, and then he went to McLaren. I think it was not Jonathan Neal, what was his name? He always had this kind of laid-back attitude. He turned up when Hamilton left, and he were only there for about 3 seasons, and then he went...
Martin Whitmarsh.
No, he were at Williams. Hang on, let me have a look. Anyway, he turned up at McLaren, and straight away I thought, he seems a bit like a tit, like a proper knobhead. I wouldn't expect him fitting in there at McLaren, but it probably fit in like a bloody glove, you know what I mean? I bet he got on like an house on fire because he were a knobhead. Hang on.
While James is looking for that, move on, Dave.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay. So lap 41, Van Dorn pits came out right behind Stroll. You know, very close to having a crash on the pit exit as well. By the way, saying that actually, James. Obviously, we'd mentioned to you about the pit entry and pit exit at Paul Ricard. What did you think of the pit entry and pit exit when you saw it?
Pit entry not too bad. Pit exit a fucking death trap.
Fucking is, isn't it? It really is. Coming out straight onto the racing line. And interestingly, I know at Monaco they've got a big blue arrow that sort of tells drivers coming down the straight there's a car coming out of the pit lane. They don't have that at Paul Ricard. They have a guy about 100 metres after the pit exit with a blue flag. Now, it's just too fucking dangerous. I can't on a track like that that's got so many different variations. How could they not have some kind of pit lane that feeds in after turn 2
with a different variation?
Yeah, 180 variations of the circuit, but you can't have a pit lane that enters the circuit safely. It reminds me of the one from Korea that was fucking suicidal. Like, literally, the pit lane ends. Oh yeah, you're onto the racing line, and then they went, oh, you know what? We better fix this. So what we'll do is we'll take it away from the racing line on entry to turn 1, and we'll make it so you feed in on the racing line at the exit of turn 2 instead, where no one can see you.
Faster.
Yeah, it's fucking. I mean, people took the piss out of Abu Dhabi, but you know what? They got their pit lane right with a fucking tunnel.
Yeah. I've put up the picture. I still can't get his name. I don't know who the frig he is. But I've sent his picture in chat. You might know it off the top of your head.
Jesus, no. Off the top of my head, no, I don't. But yeah.
But do you know the guy I mean?
Yes.
He came from Williams, and I always thought he's
seemed like a bit of cocky.
And same with Eric Boot. Yeah, and like fucking Boulier. He's another one that's come from another team. And I always thought, why would you pick fucking Boulier? You know what I mean? And I actually like the fact that people were like, well, hang on, you know, if you can sack Ron Dennis, who's basically McLaren through and through, let's go after you now, because no offence, this season, last season it were Honda shit. Yeah. It's actually looking more now like Honda were shit, but McLaren were just as shit.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I was sat here a few days ago. It's weird, right? Because I've been going to bed at like 5 p.m. and waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So tonight might be my latest night for a few nights. But I was sat there a couple of days ago, middle of the day, thinking, oh, I could do with something to watch. And there wasn't much available. And then I thought, oh, I'll watch that McLaren documentary, because I'd never actually watched it. And yeah, I would fully agree. Yes, Honda were shit. But just from watching that, so were McLaren. Because I'm not being that. There was a few snippets of that where there's one guy where he says, okay, so the nose isn't done, the floor isn't done, the gearbox isn't done, this isn't done, and that isn't. This is a failure of our business. And nobody in the room says a word. And I'm like, surely somebody there has got to say, Yeah, you're fucking right. Why has none of this been done? What can we do to get it fucking done? We're 3 weeks away from rolling the car out onto a fucking test track, and we ain't got a fucking car.
Yeah. But this is it. Top execs, you expect them to go, there's a problem, sort it.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it sorted,
I'll
replace
sort
next week.
Yeah. Exactly. If you don't sort it, we'll get someone that fucking can. And
it just seems like they're all, now that Ron Dennis is gone, seems like they're all way too comfortable, thinking, "Oh, I'm now top dog."
But at the same time,
a bit like Lucasfilm. George Lucas is gone. They're all acting like the big I am.
Yeah. And it's not working that way. I mean, the thing is, I love the fact that they did the documentary. I really do, and I wish more teams would, because it was fascinating. Just seeing the floor and them showing, look, it's difficult to make the floor because it's got more parts to it than we've ever had before. But it was also the little bits like where they're on launch day. And the guy with the orange tie says to... he sat there with Van Dorn saying... okay, so pretty much no matter what they ask you, we're looking for more than last season, an improvement on last season, and we're positive when we're looking forward. And then Fernando comes in and he's saying the same things, and Nando sort of looks at him and goes, "Say, you're fucking off your head, mate." And then the guy says, "You're possibly going to get asked as well whether there'll be more overtakes in Formula One this season." And the answer should be something along the lines of, yes, there should be. And then he says to Alonso, "Because Fernando, do you think there'll be more overtakes in Formula One this season?" And he goes, "No." He says, "Is that what you're going to say?" He says, "No, I'll say let's wait and see." But it was that little insight of Fernando going, "No, there won't. But I'll tell the media this."
He also says something else, and the media guy says, "I suppose I don't need to prep you, Fernando," and you know the drill kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It was very good, and for anyone who hasn't watched it, definitely watch it. It is quite an eye opener. Okay. So yeah, Van Dorn had come out. You found his name?
No. I've just fucking destroyed this Twitter channel. It's fucking brilliant. I tell you, I love. My new favourite hobby is literally finding stuff on Twitter and then pointing out that it's fucking wrong.
Oh, you've become a troll, James the Troll.
Yeah. James the Troll.
I think we saw him last week, didn't we?
Yeah, definitely. But the classic. I love the fact that I've even by accident I've even used the Me Racing League handle instead of my personal one.
Oh dear.
I'll send you what I've put.
It's one way to get the word out. Okay, let's see. Lap 42, Verstappen was still catching. Hamilton was asked about vibrations. Said they're okay, but annoying. What I did find interesting, my notes from lap 42 to lap 45 was just one simple little thing, and it annoyed me a little bit that the commentary teams weren't really picking up on this much, and that was lap 42, Raikkonen was 5.3 seconds behind Ricciardo. Lap 43, it was 3.6 seconds behind. Lap 44, 2.9 seconds behind. Lap 45, it was 1.8 seconds behind. And for me, that was something where, in a race where at that point there wasn't a lot going on, they should have just stuck the camera on Raikkonen's car and saying, "Let's see how he's doing, let's follow him, let's just sit on his car and watch him drive." Yeah,
I know. But it's too fucking... They've got to just make it shit as possible, don't they?
Yeah.
I just don't understand how... in this day and age that it's so bad. It's so bad, and nobody has the balls to point out how bad the fucking camera work is.
Yeah. Now, the next thing I'm going to mention pissed me off, but at the same time could be an advert for a particular change in regulation. And that is on lap 45, right? Raikkonen has got the gap down to 1.8 seconds, but they're catching back markers. They're catching Van Dorn, they're catching Stroll. Van Dorn gets out of the way. Stroll, what does he do? Doesn't fucking move for half a fucking lap. Ends up with Raikkonen right up the gearbox of Ricciardo. So that 1.8 seconds went in half a lap because Stroll decided, I'm going to race a Red Bull. Now, in a blue flag situation, it pissed me off because Stroll, I'm shouting, get out of the fucking way, you dickhead! But looking back on it, if there were no blue flags, it created a situation where Raikkonen's now got an opportunity. I mean, he was going to get it anyway.
But you were right to think that because at the moment there is blue flags, and it destroyed an element of the race. But I don't understand how he didn't get a penalty for not getting out of the fucking way.
Yeah, because the difference of the gap was the difference between Raikkonen having DRS down to turn 1 and Raikkonen not having DRS down to turn 1. I mean, Ricciardo was behind Stroll going into the chicane on the back straight, and Stroll let him through around the final corner. I mean, that's okay, it's only 6 corners, but it's a long distance of racetrack.
Oh yeah, but when you add up them 6 corners, it's like lost 3 seconds.
Yeah. James, fill in on that guy's name, Sam Michaels.
That's it.
Yeah, knobhead.
2007.
Okay, so moving on quickly then. Let's see, Van Dorn, lap 46. Oh, James is on his Twittering again. He's tweeting.
Somebody's put this footage of this cyclist just cut me up, so I give him some payback, and he just runs alongside him and just pushes him into a bush at about 50 mile an hour. It's fucking brilliant.
Shouldn't laugh, but that does sound quite funny.
I know. Oh, it's fucking brilliant.
Anyway, okay, yeah, so lap 46, I was reading the picture that Jason. Lap 46, Van Dorn, who had done 2 stops, was catching Alonso, who had done 1 stop at that point, and passed Alonso. You mentioned, Steve, about Alonso's radio message. I mean, I think it's the first time that Van Dorn has really given Alonso a run for his money, but Alonso did have damage and a spin earlier on in the race, but I think that could be a turning point in Alonso's career that makes him think, you know what, fuck this.
I think he's already past that point, and that's why McLaren have offered Ricciardo 20 million. Because I can't see why, as much as I hate Van Dorn, I can't see Van Dorn being replaced before Alonso. I just think that if there's one of those seats that's going to become available, it's going to be Alonso's seat.
Yeah.
Because Van Dorn's not going to get a drive in another team. So it's not like he's going to be going off somewhere else, so they need to fill his seat.
No, I mean, he's not going to be leaving to go to America, or a Red Bull or a Ferrari.
Exactly. So Van Dorn's going to be happy in his seat, and and his results are, in comparison to Alonso's, roughly, he's a few tenths away. So if they're offering 20 million out, surely it's got to only be for Alonso's seat.
Yeah. I mean, I find it interesting that story has actually come out. But I suppose if you're Red Bull and you're trying to work a deal with Ricciardo, and you find out that he's been offered that, you probably would be tempted to go, hang on, you know what, let's put that out there. Because then it makes McLaren have to deal with that exact question. Why would they be offering it if it wasn't to replace Alonso? And it puts a lot of shit for McLaren to deal with that they don't really want to have to deal with. But yeah. Let's see, lap 47, Kimi. Kimi and Ricciardo did have a very, very good battle, I thought. Once Raikkonen was behind Ricciardo at the final corner, they did have a really good battle through turn 1, 2, all the way down to turn 6, but then it resulted in an easy DRS overtake for Raikkonen. But at the same time, I was very pleased for him, the fact that he managed to get himself onto the podium.
Yeah, even though he didn't look happy.
Yeah, definitely. Now on lap 48 I wrote Alonso pitting for the ultra soft tyre, what a waste, and then found out that it was purely for a fastest lap attempt, which I was like, okay, fair enough.
But really, For a fastest lap attempt in the McLaren?
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. but that's, I mean, to be fair, if you've got fuck all else, why not give it a go and give it a try? But I still don't know how he ended up with damage on his car. And then probably the moment where James's heart sank when he heard about Carlos Sainz's no power. That, I must admit, that was disappointing.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't. Well, as well, with him being in a car like that, and he had them coming up behind him, it kind of ruined it, because they could have been actually, if he had had full power, they could have been actually battling him wheel to wheel, but instead it was just a breeze pass.
Yeah, Magnussen and Bottas right behind him. It would have been an interesting battle, that, because 3 different engines, 3 different situations of car, could have been a good battle. But yeah, the loss of power. I mean, I think to a degree he's lucky that he probably got it to the end.
Yeah, definitely. Did he still finish in front of Hulkenberg?
Yes, he did. A few seconds.
Right.
But that was only because of the virtual safety car prevented Hulkenberg from getting any closer.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to get on. Lap 50, Stroll off with a puncture, front left, tyre blew. He's been on them since last lap 1, and then I wrote, has he shit himself?
Well, I've got a question about Stroll in this situation. Even if he did shit himself, alright, when a tyre blows, the car is still recoverable to the pit lane. Why the fuck did he park it and get out? Because that brought out the virtual safety car. Could have been a normal safety car, but it was kind of like, I'm sorry, but what are you doing parking your car?
Well, I think one way to answer that would be, if Alonso with 2 wheels on his wagon at Baku can do nearly a whole fucking lap, then how come Stroll couldn't get to a safe point?
Yeah, now if it's a rear wheel that's got a puncture and it's gone bang at high speed, the shockwave of it going bang and the differentiation of the speed suddenly on that rear axle can damage the gearbox, right? And you could say, well, maybe it caused gearbox or engine problem, but it's the front. It's the front wheel. Why did he stop it where he did? Okay, it came to a stop there, but why couldn't he then drive it to a off track somewhere?
Probably because he shit himself.
Possibly.
I mean, he did have a rather strange blackish, brownish mark on his rear end. But I mean, to be fair, the puncture itself, I mean, you can't put any blame on Pirelli for the puncture, because I mean, he'd done 47 laps. What on earth is Vicky listening to?
It's just an advert, sorry.
Oh, alright, fair enough. I thought she was in there dancing and singing. Yeah, the tyre blowing, I mean, that's no fault of Pirelli's in any way, shape or form. But at the same time, given the position that he was in, I'm surprised that they didn't just go, right, with about 15 laps to go, we might as well just pit you. Because you fucking last anyway, pretty much, so why not?
Well, everyone else that pitted on lap 1 changed the tyres.
Yeah. Definitely. So, I mean, as soon as they found out Alonso was going for a fastest lap attempt, they should have gone, oh, why don't we?
You never know.
You're having a laugh.
Yes. Now, obviously, his incident brought out the VSC. Right? I can't fault a virtual safety car in that situation. However, I don't know if you noticed, they basically said, oh, just leave the car where it is. They didn't attempt to recover it in any way, shape or form. They just went, right, fuck it, yeah, leave the car where it is and we'll double wave. I mean, the only reason they brought the VSC in was so that the race didn't end under VSC, and they restarted the race with a double waved yellow in that corner. Okay, fair enough. But that VSC did, I think, affect some positions at the end of that race, like Sainz holding on to his position, any chance Verstappen may have had, any chance of Raikkonen gaining any more on Verstappen.
Whether it affected the front, I'm not so sure, even if that means that I lose out a point.
Well, you know what? I was going to give you the point, but you wrote yourself out of it earlier, so I'm going to have to readjust the picture better. We'll go on to that in a minute.
I see, the reason why I say what I'm saying is, if Verstappen had got close enough to being DRS and the VSC come out, I could have kind of agreed with you. But I think Hamilton was just pacing himself.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it wasn't like Verstappen was on much fresher rubber, much better compound, and clearly had the fastest car, and it was a done deal. But then the VSC came out. Yeah. It was the time's coming down, and that was about it. And it was like, you know, how much of the time? So I think what did it get down to? 3.8.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and normally Hamilton is quite comfortable until it gets down to about 2 seconds, and then he starts opening it up again.
Yeah.
So, you know, another lap or two, and he probably would have just opened the gap up.
Quite possibly. And on to my last comment, which was second to last lap, showing a DJ. What the fuck? I'm watching.
I have no comment about that.
I'm watching Formula One. It might be in a VSC situation, but you're showing a DJ for no fucking reason whatsoever. James is still on mute while he's having his little rant.
Sorry, yeah, no. Did you spot as well? About lap 10, cuts to Mr. fucking Grumpy Fuck.
Which one's
Entrepreneur.
That? Entrepreneur?
And it says entrepreneur, and that's all it said underneath him. That's all I had to go on. And he was just in the Ferrari garage, at the back of the garage, playing on his phone, not even looking at the screens, playing on his phone. I'm like, why the fuck are we showing him? There's racing going on. He doesn't even give a shit. Why do I give a shit?
Exactly.
Fucking. It's all about who's fucking there.
It's about who you know, innit? It's about who you fucking know.
It's all a load of shite.
I've just realised. Okay.
Ross Brawn spoke to Natalie Pinkham. I'd much rather have an interview each week with Ross Brawn updating us on how he's going to change Formula 1. That'd be the best thing ever. But no, let's look at a fucking entrepreneur who don't give a shit. He's just there to sell some more shit to people, to put his branding on whatever product he sells on. Fucking hell. You know, I put up somebody put the Twitter pages. I love the 80s, and then they put up a picture from a film made in 1977. I just put it's the 70s. They've just liked my reply, so clearly they've realised, oh shit.
Oh, so that's what you were getting right. I had no idea. Right, okay, so basically the tweet that James has commented, it's a picture of Darth Vader which says, what do you think Darth Vader is saying? And the page is, I love the 80s. And so James's response is, it's the 70s. And that's pretty good, I'll give you that.
They probably think that you're trying to say Darth Vader is saying it's the 70s.
Oh,
they've just liked it as well.
The thing is, I'm not really one for commenting on kind of stuff like that, or like you see on Facebook where some pages will go, "Oh, caption this," but every now and again one crops up that I do. Now I'd seen
Rachel Riley.
Yeah. I'd seen there was a picture of Kimi Raikkonen holding his trophy, his podium trophy, the gorilla.
No, I thought you were saying his wife.
his wife, the gorilla. Holding the gorilla, and it said, caption this, what do you think Kimi is saying, is thinking? So I wrote, this is just the way my mind worked, I wrote, sort of, Kimi's thinking, where the fuck is its cock and balls?
I saw you write that.
Yeah.
But if it was me writing a comment, I think I'd have wrote, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. What I will say is, I did like the big statue things, right? For two reasons.
What's the point?
Well, no, hang on. I liked it because from an artistic standpoint, it was interesting. And they were actually there, Steve. Unlike in Canada with the star that wasn't there, at least these were actually there. You could have touched them.
No, it's cock and balls, you couldn't.
Well, no, that's true. that is very true.
I've got a quick question though, Dave.
Go on.
Somebody that's listening to our podcast has asked, why does it say in VSC increase lap time by 40%?
Dead easy. Because if your lap time around a track is, say, 1 minute 20 seconds, for you to go slower, you need to increase your lap time to 1 minute 50 seconds. If you decrease it by 40%, then you'd be basically doing it in 40 seconds and you'd be accused of cheating. So yeah, it is a little confusing, but it does say increase by 40% because you have to increase the time by 40%,
which means going around slower.
Going around slower, not decrease the time. Which would, basically, it would be like if you were going in a spaceship around planet Earth at 20,000 miles an hour and it was taking you 1 second. If you had to go round slower, you would have to increase that time by 40% to go round 40% slower. So that's basically
the same person's asked another question. But we'll do that after you finish your notes.
However, as I said at the beginning of the year, when virtual safety car call was called in Australia, I swear to God it said must increase speed rather than lap time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it said speed as well.
Because I read it and I just were like, must increase speed by 40%. Fucking hell! Yeah. Slow down, lad.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't put it past them either. Okay, I've done with all my notes, so I've still got the predictions to do. But is there anything else from the Grand Prix that you two want to mention?
I was bored.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a bit bored of F1, but I want to like it. It's been in my blood for so long, and I'm just hoping that next year it just changes enough for me to get my enthusiasm back into it. But this might actually be a question that I'm going to put to both of you to see if this may help. So someone that's listening to our podcast has asked a question to all of us. Would you like to see all electronic aids taken out of F1, e.g. engine maps and power limits?
Yes. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. Well, we've mentioned this before. Just give them exactly the same spec of engine. So even if you're a manufacturer of Mercedes-Benz, Ferrari, whatever, the engine is more or less 99% exactly the same.
So there's a blueprint for the engine, but different people can build it.
Yeah. Basically, it's got to be certain capacity and no more than X amount of brake horse. And that X amount of brake horse should be attainable by all teams.
So to get rid of the engine mapping, basically, if you want to save some life for the engine or run leaner,
don't go
you
full
change
throttle.
Gear earlier. You don't put your foot down as heavy. The engine mode is on your right foot, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
There's none of this fucking HT press P for fuck off. It's fucking throttle on, throttle off. Fucking pretty much. Yeah, just get rid of.
I mean,
rid of everything.
To point out how fucked up the situation is, and also, I'm sorry, Lance Stroll, but I've got to do it. How fucking unreal your situation is. To be sat in an F1 car and to have to ask which switch is the rain light.
Yeah.
Now that was in one of the practice sessions.
One of the most basic buttons on the steering wheel. That should be.
And the thing is, that's not even a switch to turn the light on. It's a what tyres have you got on switch, basically. So if he doesn't know how to fucking work that, that's a problem. But not being daft, why have you got a switch to tell the car which fucking tyres you're on?
But also, do you know that in a Formula 1 car, to go into reverse, you don't continue going down the gears. You've actually got to go into your head-up display and tell it by pressing different buttons you want reverse to select reverse. It's not about going down your gearbox.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's a couple of ways to look at it. There's the traditionalist way, which is, I mean, we'd all love to see steering wheel, minimal buttons, team radio,
drink bottle,
I'd say horn.
I'd say team radio and team radio and all the fucking engine people blackout for the race, and also you can hear from the driver if they're getting pissed off or if they want to come in on a certain lap. But that's it. The team the only way the team can communicate with the driver is through the pit board.
Well, the thing is, do you remember when they did test the radio blackout and it didn't work? Right. The reason it didn't work is because when drivers had a problem, they didn't know how to solve it because of the computer software in their car.
Yeah, if it was simple, wouldn't need it.
Exactly. If they didn't have any buttons and they couldn't do anything anyway, and they're driving along going, hang on a minute, I'm losing power, they've got two choices: carry on or pull in the pits.
Or put your foot down a bit harder.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, the other way to look at it is, and I'm going to go sort of a little bit out of the box here. Would you rather get on a modern airplane with all of its fucking switches in the cockpit, or a rickety old one that's only got a hand lever to fly with? I know which one I'd rather get in, but it's a different scenario. I wouldn't want to fly a jumbo jet, having to know what all the fucking switches do, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to fly the single stick one. But when it comes to racing cars, no, give them a steering wheel and pedals and let them fucking go.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
That's one of the things that I think that makes the GP2 and the GP3 series so much more entertaining to watch at times as well. Because, okay, they've got DRS, but there's no fucking about with different engine modes and all this bullshit. I mean, the qualifying sessions for GP2 are fucking brilliant. You got 30 minutes... Go and see what lap times you can do. And what do? They go out there and they batter lap after lap after lap after lap after lap. They come back into the pits, top up a bit of fuel, go back out, batter lap after lap after lap. And it works, it's exciting, and they can still follow each other around and get toes and all. It's mayhem, it's carnage at times, but it's brilliant to watch. Now don't get me wrong, the current qualifying system works in Formula 1, but at the same time I would much rather be able to see them go, right, in qualifying 1 you've got 18 minutes, each car goes out, pounds in as many laps as it can, and one of them should hopefully be quick enough for them to get through. I'd rather see that than Vettel and Hamilton come out for one lap. Oh, that's fast enough, right, we're parked up.
But they probably would still do that though, wouldn't they?
Maybe, but not necessarily. If it was one session, they'd have to be out towards the end. Or if it was one half an hour session and your full grid was set from that, you'd have to be out on track, because if you're not, then the conditions when you set your lap time might not have been good enough. Now obviously when they used to do it, right, you got an hour, go and do your laps, it was boring as fuck. And the one-shot qualifying for mixed up grids worked, but it took a long time. It seemed to be a painfully long show watching one car going round at a time. But I mean, if you've never watched a GP2 qualifying session, you should watch it. It's very intense. Now what I will mention is, what did you think about the discussion from qualifying about the wet tyres, which is, it might actually have been from FP3 actually, excuse me. If it rains on a Friday practice session, the teams can use a tyre, the inter or the wet, and they'll get it replaced.
Yeah.
If it's dry on a Friday but rains on a Saturday morning practice session, FP3, and they use an inter or a wet, it doesn't get replaced. Meaning if it is a wet qualifying or race, the teams are a tyre down.
I think that's wrong. I mean, why not just go, fuck it, here's 4 sets instead of 3? If they're going to replace it in one of the other sessions, replace it in all of the sessions.
Yeah.
Then if you are going to be replacing it, why not just make 4 tyres available for everyone?
Yeah. Any thoughts, James? Don't give a fuck.
Sorry, I've just been completely blanking for 5 minutes. Sorry, guys.
No, it's alright. You go
I've
back
been
to
listening.
your Twitter war.
Sorry.
Right.
I'll send you a picture of what I've been looking at, which might make you understand what I were just getting a bit.
Is there another picture of Rachel Riley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm showing a picture on the broadcast at the moment, which is of our predictions. And there could be. I don't know why you're saying, oh yeah, you did shit.
I got 2 on podium. Just wrong way around.
Yeah.
Steve got that, didn't he? The other week. He got them all right, but the wrong way around.
All 3, but in the wrong order, he got a point. But 2 right in the wrong order, no points, unfortunately. But James, you know what though, James? I will give you the possibility of arguing against a point for Steve. Right?
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't know what it's about, but fuck yeah. Okay.
Why the fuck did I not stick with having Hamilton for the pole and the win this week?
I know, shocking, innit?
Bloody hell, what are you doing? Sorry, Bella's just jumping up and down on me.
That's alright.
Oh, she's passed me a ball, that's why.
There you go.
Yeah, go for it, go on.
Okay, so Steve then picked, for the poll, Steve picked Hamilton, gets a point for that. James picked Max Verstappen, no points for that. I went with Vettel, no points for that. Annoyingly, I did actually pick Hamilton and then went, no, Vettel. And I could have got an extra point there, but there you go. Winner, Steve said Ricciardo. James said Max Verstappen, and I went with Hamilton, so I do get a point for that one, and that's about as far as my good luck went. For the podium, Steve went with Hamilton, Ricciardo and Vettel, not far away, but a million miles away. James was close-ish, going for Verstappen, then Ricciardo and Hamilton, and then I went with Hamilton, Vettel and Kimi Räikkönen, so I had 2 out of the 3 as well. And 2 of them actually in the right order, but Vettel in there as well. First to crash out, we all got that one very wrong. Steve went with Hartley. James went with Lance Stroll. He did crash out, just not when he thought he would.
Yeah, it wasn't a crash, that was a puncher.
That was a fuck up.
Well, he should have known that tyre were going to fucking blow.
Yeah.
He'd have felt it.
Yeah, you'd think so. I went with Ricciardo, and obviously that didn't happen. Steve came up with a prediction to make of after lap 1 on what lap will. Oh, hello, Rachel Riley. That wasn't it.
No. It's that one that you told me the other week. You know that Ariana Richards who were in the original Jurassic Park.
Oh right. Okay, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, you said that you liked her, so yeah. I sent you a couple of pictures.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll crack one off to them later. After lap 1 overtakes, what lap would it be on? Steve said none. Unfortunately, was wrong with that one. There was more overtakes in this race than there was in Canada. James said lap 2, and unfortunately that didn't happen, and I said lap 3, and unfortunately that didn't happen because of the fucking safety car. Thank you, Vettel, you dick. Now, James, this is where you get to argue against a point that I've given to Steve, alright? Because in the bit where we had the possibility of making our own predictions, I said that it would rain in the race and the lead will change. It didn't rain in the race and the lead didn't fucking change at all. You went with there'll be an unsafe pit release causing a crash in the pit lane. Unfortunately that didn't happen. But Steve's prediction was that safety car or VSC will affect the win. He did go on to say that the lead will change because of it, but I've given him the point on the basis of VSC did affect the end of the race. It basically was VSC for the last 2 laps. It ended under VSC as far as I was concerned. So I've given him the point. So if you want to argue against it, go for it.
No. I think you're right there, mate.
Oh, bastard! He's
I
point
don't. But the thing is, I'd love to argue against it, but I don't know how I can.
Yeah. Easy. You say that's not what he fucking predicted.
Please don't give him a point.
Okay, I'll take that point off him, you fucking cheating bastard. But I thought it was only fair. So yeah, that's how we got on with our predictions for that one. And I suppose at some point this evening we're going to have to make our predictions for Austria. But I don't think we should do that right now, so I'm just going to open up the floor to anything else you guys might have.
About F1?
Anything.
Oh, anything?
Anything, oh yeah, anything.
It's a bit vague.
Oh, I know. Should we see if James completed his commentary task this week?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I've got a video to send to you two, and I shall play it on the broadcast. Now, for James,
sorry, I've got somebody on Twitter's put out footage of Maradona being escorted out of the football match.
Yeah, that'd be because of what he did when they scored.
Oh dear, he's always in for something, isn't he? Okay, so in James's Racing League, which you'll see a bit of info of in a moment, we've been setting him tasks of a word to say, and I've already got the word for the next one, by the way. I'll tell you that in a minute. So a word that he has to say on his commentary, and previously we've had Weetabix and Hobnobs, and for this week it was emojis. So I think it's only fair that we have a quick look to see whether he was able to succeed with that. So I'll send you two a link to the video, so when you two are ready to play, I shall switch and show you the video for the viewers.
Yep, just give me 1 second.
Saying that, it might be handy if I get it ready for me to play as well, so I know whereabouts in the video it is.
Hang on, it's just loading now. Seems whenever I select a YouTube video through Messenger, it takes bloody forever. Right, it's loading.
I'm ready.
Right, I'm ready.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, enjoy.
Fantastic move, and he's made his way up into P6. On board now is Steve, and Dave's gone off into the distance. Oh no, the side-by-side hitting. No, that is James Hulkenberg unlapping himself against Steve F1. I was getting a bit confused there, but running order now. Satch leads the race, Rados P2, Iceman P3, AFC Guna P4, Rico there is P5, Steve F1 P6, and Dave the Harp is running in P7. But yeah, anything can happen, you know, if with the young kids these days on social media. I don't think they've ever seen weather like this. They're all, you know, just playing on their phones every day, and they don't actually look up and, you know, appreciate the weather. And I think if, you know, you said to, oh, there's a car off there, I think there may have been Kurukaku. But yeah, you know, you tell the kids these days, you know, how you feeling. You usually get back something on Messenger or on Twitter saying, you know, a little emoji, you know, somebody with a smile or a sad face, and I'm pretty sure teenagers of this teenager of this day and age would probably be, you know, thumbs down, sad face, shit weather, maybe even the shit emoji, you never know. But yeah, we just saw there Dave the Harp being led through by Steve F1. I don't understand what was going on there, Alan. No, I don't quite either, or I don't quite understand what he was on about the emojis there. That was a bit random, Arnie. I don't understand that. But anyway, Iceland is Jason heading his way over the line, and James Hulkenberg in P9 is a full 1 minute 59 off the race lead, so he has been lapped, and the race leaders are already round spoon. But as we said earlier, we thought that Jason was probably had a bit more pace than the front runners, and he's now clawing all over the back of Rodders. Even though this is not for position, he wants to make his way through, because I believe that Jason he's got nothing to lose here. He may as well try and unlap himself. Oh, Rodders! Rodders has just lost the rear end. He's in the gravel trap, Arnie. I can't believe that a driver like Rodders would bin it. Just shows how difficult these conditions are. And as you said, the drainage at this circuit is so bad that, you know, always run wide there. James Hulkenberg's up his inside. And James Hulkenberg, he's also not got a rear wing. Hopefully, he knows that as well. I don't know. Oh, he's wiggling all over the place. He's let Rodders back through. Yeah, so hopefully he knows that he's not got a rear wing, as we saw. Oh, no, he doesn't! He's just spun it! He spun it, Arnie! Oh, no, I can't believe it. James Hulkenberg, he's already a lap down. He's had a pretty crap race. There was poor driving, and maybe he just didn't realise about the rear wing, but he's heading into the pit lane for a new rear wing. But his race is going from shit to even shitter. Yes, as you said, his emoji he will be using on Twitter later will probably be a big dump pile of shit. But yeah, there is Iceman in P2. There is Rodders in P3.
So, well done, James. You managed to complete your task.
Yeah, I got it in twice, yeah.
Well,
I've heard that you've got a possible word, and Steve's found a word.
Yeah. Well, I thought of a word last night, and I'm surprised I remembered it actually. But Steve has just said that we've had a word sent to us. So come on there, Steve. What is the word that's been sent to us for James's next commentary?
Ball bag.
Ball bag. That's quite easy.
Okay. Mine not so easy.
Right.
Although, with that other word, you could combine the two. Because the word I thought of was cannibalistic.
Cannibalistic, right, okay.
But if you put the two together, you got, what a cannibalistic ball bag.
Yeah. Well, I think I know exactly who I'm going to use that for.
Oh dear.
Oh, class. Cannibalistic ball bag, right. Yeah. That's definitely...
Now, okay, seeing as we've just played a bit of footage from James's Racing League, there was something I was going to mention to you, James. And that is, I watched the race. I watched half of it yesterday and some of it today. And I noticed there was something new that you'd done on it, which is when the like somebody had a crash, you've highlighted, you've had like a highlight comes up on the screen saying like the steward's looking at it. I had an
driver under investigation.
Yeah, driver. I had an idea for you. Right, I noticed that you'd changed your border for this race.
Yeah, you mean the blue border with the? Yeah, I slightly changed that, but what I realised is I was meant to, you know, when it popped up saying driver under investigation and stuff, it kind of covered the blue border.
Yeah.
And it was meant to go underneath the blue and just pop out underneath the blue border.
Well, what I was going to say was what might look better, because it did look good, but you could tell that it hadn't worked quite right. But I thought what might look better, on the top blue strip, where you got the black bit that said PS4, if that whole black bit actually changed colour with driver under investigation and then disappeared again, it would make it so much, potentially so much easier for you, because all you'd need is that particular shape to pop on to say boom, driver under investigation, and then it can disappear again.
Yeah, good call that. Yeah, I might do that
for you. Do you know the bit where you lost your rear wing? I was actually thinking that, you know, like in Formula 1 we occasionally hear F1 drivers radio, but we get it delayed. Yeah. So you could have it where your team have radioed to you saying, James, you've lost your rear wing, and you go, no, I haven't.
and then just a lot of expletives.
Yeah.
Then you'd have it come back to, guys, I need to pit. Why? I think I've lost my rear wing. So, but
I just thought you could have, having your team radio, not just, you wouldn't necessarily have to do just you. You could pick, say, Dave the Heart. You wouldn't need his voice. You'd just do a Dave the Heart voice and say, we've got a bit of a snippet of Dave the Heart's radio
beep,
here.
beep, beep, beep.
Just full of beeps.
Well, last night, he were like having a go at himself, going, "Oh, can't believe I can't believe I've just done that," because I think he ended up like knocking himself off the racetrack. And then, it was just brilliant when you could hear him getting really, really stressed, like about like just driving in general. And then I was just slamming on, trying to aim perfect for each chicane and each braking point. And I just hears,
His lighter.
and I'm like, bloody hell, how can you even do that? I'm like, all my mental capacity is, don't miss the braking point, don't miss it.
Dave's one-handing it with a fucking lighter on the go.
Yeah.
We see some people have other talents that we just don't have, and on that note, I've got a video I'd like to share with you guys.
Alright.
Yeah. Basically, you know how like last week I tried my hand at a bit of ironing.
Yes.
Well, this week I decided to try and get in touch with nature a little bit. So I decided I was going to become an ant and try and help out some ants. So if you let me know when you're ready to watch that video, I'll pop it on for the viewers.
DL, you're getting like me now. I was stopping frogs before.
It's been
helping
blocked
them out.
It's been blocked by copyright.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh no. Let's have a look. Oh, copyright from BuzzFeed.
It hasn't on mine. Oh, it's probably because I'm
unlucky.
You know what? That means I can't play that. I can't play that video then. Oh no.
But you know what? We can play.
What's that?
We could play a game.
We could play a game, but have we got a game in mind, James?
Oh, I haven't got a game this week. Am I getting screwed over or what?
Yeah. And this game is called Name the Episode.
Oh, fucking hell.
Right, I'll go through the rules here. I were going through this with Dave on my lunch break. I bet he were thinking, fucking hell, how many pictures is he sending me?
Do you realise I had to fucking edit, rename, resize every single one of these pictures, not once, but twice.
I don't know why Dave's quiet today.
Yeah, well, that was it. I kind of were on my lunch break. I spent an hour doing it. Well, I did one on my lunch break and sent him it, and I thought, fucking hell, that took me 10 minutes to do one. I've got to find a quicker way. And I ended up racking up 15 in the hour, so... Yeah, so the name of the game is tell me what episode this is. It's a Star Wars game, because we know, Steve, that you love Star Wars. Just as much as me, almost. So... what we're going to do is we're going to start out with an image, and then I'm going to take away a little bit of the image. It's a bit like catchphrase, only name the episode. And rather than square blocks, it's just random scribbles of an image.
I'll tell you what, you could show me the whole image, and I probably still won't get it right.
Well, this is it, right? This is it. In order to make it a little bit easier for you, the name of the game is... tell me the name of the episode, but if you can tell me the name of a character in the image, then you get points. So, for example, on the first one that we put up,
name the episode from this, Steve.
Yeah, so from the first image we put up, if you can name a character and it's correct, you get 3 points. If you can also tell me the episode it's from, you get 3 points. Now, if we have to go to the second image, which reveals even more, Then you get 2 points if you name a character and 2 points if you name the episode. Then we go to the final image, which is nothing covered at all. And then if you get the name the episode and the characters in the image, then you get 1 point. So, image number 1 has been sent to you now. You need to tell me the name of the episode and the characters you can see.
Right. Okay. Jar Jar Spinks, whatever his name is.
Sphinx.
Yeah.
Is he from Egypt?
Sphinx.
Probably.
Jar Jar Sphinx.
Jar Jar Spinks.
So is that 3 points for a character then?
Well, I'm thinking, yeah, it must be because there's 3 characters in here.
I think you should only need 1, otherwise you could end up with like 4 million points. So he's got 1 character. He's got the points for them. Doesn't matter. You've already had your 3 points for the character.
Yeah. So you only have to name 1 character. Yeah, that's
okay.
it. You only have to name 1 character. So you've got Jar Jar Binks and you've got Obi-Wan Kenobi. Can you give me a guess as to what episode this is?
You want the name of the episode?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, this is 1, isn't it?
Incorrect.
Alright, it's number 2
we'll
then.
We'll have to move on to the next picture.
Oh yeah, it's number 2, isn't it? Because, yeah, fucking hell. Anakin Skywalker's older in the
thing. So we'll give you 2 points then for the name of for the episode, and 3 points for the character because you got Jar Jar. So
now you want me to name the episode?
No. Well, I bet you won't name the episode, but all you have to say is what episode is it, and it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It could be any of them. I've omitted Rogue One, so you won't get any Rogue One ones.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that I can't remember the name of the bloody episode, but it's something like Revenge of the Sith or something.
Steve, you've already completed the first one. You're knobhead.
So yeah.
Because James said you can give us the name, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 will do.
Alright.
You got number 2. So in total, there with the first one, out of a possible 6 points, you got 5. So that's not bad. That not bad. Not a bad start there, Steve.
Yeah. And now it just
gets
worse.
Hit me with the next
one. Okay, so this might be a little confusing for me with some of the pictures.
As well, because it sort of gives it away. If you ask me what episode it is, I can't answer.
I can answer, but it might be wrong.
Yeah, if you ask me what episode it is, that means we have to go to the next image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is episode 4.
If he's right or wrong, James, let me know, because if he's wrong, we'll go to the next picture.
We need to go to the next picture, mate.
Oh, okay. Oh, that next one's going to piss him off. So you're down to a possible 2 points for character or episode.
So you can still walk away with 4 points.
Lando Calrissian.
That's 2 points for the character.
2 points for character.
Let me just think for a minute. Return of the Jedi.
Well done. So that's 4 points for that one.
Not bad.
Not bad at all, mate. I were hoping to stump you, and I were going to think that you were going to go, oh, Empire. But yeah, no, not bad. Return of the Jedi. Well done.
Okay then, on to the next one. Like I say, this might take me a little while with the pic. There are so many pictures.
Sorry, I did make it complicated.
I must admit, this one I can't even see what's fucking there, and I've seen the full fucking image.
So I need a name of the episode and the character. Or characters.
You must have had good fun swiping your finger across your tablet for all dinner.
I was trying to eat a sandwich at the same time and just going, fuck it.
I can just imagine someone seeing you sat at your desk with your arm shaking for an hour and then thinking, the fuck is he doing?
Okay, that's Dooku.
Oh, bloody hell. So that is correct. So that's 3 points for the character.
You got a guess on an episode? If Steve starts taking a while with these without saying anything, he could be getting outside help.
It's because I'm trying to think of the process of them.
Claire, if you're listening, check he's not cheating.
She's not. No, I'm literally trying to look through the gaps to try and give me some idea. I'm going to have to go with
Revenge of the Broken Tiger.
Four.
It's wrong.
Next image.
Even I know that's wrong.
Okay.
Fucking hell, this one's really going to help you out, Steve.
Is it?
Next image, Dave.
It can't be that one, surely. I think I've got my wires crossed.
I think you've got your wires crossed as well.
I'll give you a clue. Something else is crossed as well.
That's a sneaky. He won't get that clue. It's a sneaky clue, but he won't get it.
He will when he sees the final image.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to give you a countdown.
Counting
back from 10 now.
I'll just guess at 5.
Okay, we'll give him the
Five?
give him the final image then.
Okay, he said 5, right? I'll just point out to you, Steve. He could only have ever possibly have been in 1, 2, or 3. Am I right?
He could only have ever been in 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at the final image then, Dave. Right, can you get it now?
Can you get it now? You just told.
And Summit's crossed.
For a 1 point, it's either 2 or 3.
Looks to me he's in a bit of a shit situation to me.
Yeah, but so my brain is thinking something that's just not possible for it to be number 2, but okay, maybe it is number 2 then.
Oh no!
Unlucky! It's the last scene he's ever in when he gets his head chopped off from Palpatine going, "Do it!"
Oh dear.
Yeah, Anakin saws his head off with 2 lightsabers. Unlucky. But you got 3 points though for the character straight away.
Yep.
So well done for that, Steve.
Okay, on to the next one. These fuck with your eyes after a while, these do.
Oh fucking hell! What's his name?
And I need the name of the episode.
Alright, the Emperor.
I don't know if you could accept that.
Yeah, I think we need his name pre that because that'll give you a clue with the episode.
Palpatine.
Yeah, so you've got the name of the character, so that's 3 points. Can you give me the name of the episode?
Force Awakens.
Next image, Dave.
Fucking hell, why did I say that?
Top Gun. That was Steve's Top Gun moment. That was. Oh dear.
So yeah, don't worry. Next image is on its way. There we go. Does that help you anymore?
Is that the next one? Fucking hell, it looks exactly the same.
Yeah, you can see a bit more sky on the left.
Okay, that'll be number 2 then.
Oh, well done. So that's 5 points for that one. Well done.
I thought that might have been number 1. It's a good job you didn't come to me for help.
No, because that's the one, isn't it, where he sends Samuel Jackson out the window.
Yeah, no, that's number 3. He seems to go through a bit of a weird colour phase. Like in episode 1, he's wearing blue. In episode 2, he's wearing like dark stuff that you kind of thinking, hang on, is he the Emperor? And then in episode 3, he's wearing bright red, representing fucking evil as fuck.
Yep.
And then from that point on, he's just wearing black.
On to the next one. Yeah, you ain't getting this fucker. I know I've went through all these earlier today, but you ain't getting this fucker. That one.
So I thought you were supposed to take some off it.
That's why it took me a while to send it you. I couldn't find it.
So that's when he's the Emperor.
Oh, bloody hell.
It's done well.
3 points.
Done well.
Yeah, he has. And can you give me the name of the episode?
That'd be number 4.
Next picture.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, I'm number 3 then.
Oh, last picture.
I have no idea.
You're answering wrong too quick for me. Okay, on to the last picture then.
Right, last image here. Can you tell me what episode this is, Steve? We've just seen an image of him, just in the picture before. That's him in episode 2. He looks a bit older to me in this one. What episode do you think it is?
Is this episode 2 as well?
Oh,
Oh,
it's got to be 5
mate.
or 6.
It's 6. Unlucky, mate. Unlucky. But you got the name of the character, so you still got 3 points.
Oh. Do you know what? I have got someone helping me, but there's a delay from when they see the picture.
Oh, you got someone helping you.
Bullshit!
Fuck you.
Helping you. Not Davey, half is it?
Alright, I've just had a message saying episode 6. So if I'd have just waited a little bit longer.
Oh, I'm lucky. Who's this helper? I want to know.
It's going to be Ray, innit? It's going to be Ray. Stop helping him.
Is he Ray?
Stop fucking helping him.
Bloody hell.
This
Right,
is James's revenge for all of the dodgy as fuck picture games that Steve's put him through.
I loved though how Steve's brain just were like, what? Right, here we go. Can you get these? I'll say. Normally, I'd say you have to get one character. I think in this image you have to get both because there's an image later
3
on.
for a minute then.
But there is 3.
Okay then. Right. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yep.
And what version of his name do you want?
The version that
he is.
you think.
Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, so 3 points in the bag there for the characters. And can you give me the name of the episode?
No, but it'll be episode 2.
Episode 3.
Oh,
shit! Sorry.
We'll give him 2 points. We'll give him 2 points for that. So 5 points you got. Because Dave's gone and ruined it.
Yeah, sorry. Might as well go straight
Cheers,
to the end.
Dave.
No worries.
It's not Ray that's helping me.
It was total accident, that. But that's at the start of episode 3, if I remember right.
Yeah, before they end up like screaming at each other, saying they hate each other.
Yeah.
I do actually really enjoy the beginning of episode 3.
Okay, on to the next one. I'm saying nothing this time.
Natalie Portman.
What's her character?
Mrs. Skywalker.
Next image. Can you give me the name of the episode before we go to next image, actually?
Just give me a minute, 'cause I'm trying to remember what her name was.
Oh, yeah.
Bullshit.
Next picture. Next picture.
Yeah. Fucking give me a minute.
Yeah.
Let me wait for Ray and work it out.
It's like seeing someone learning to drive using a sat nav. Can't think for themselves. Got to wait to be told. Turn left here. It's a lake.
I'm in a fucking lake.
Well, you said you wanted to go to the Lake District.
I love that accent.
I don't even know why it
So this
was.
this is number 3.
Yeah, who told you? Is it Rhaegar?
No. Because of the planet they're on.
Yeah, and what's the name of character? I'll give you 10 seconds.
I can't fucking remember.
Shall I give Ray 10 seconds?
I'll just call it the princess.
Right. I'll get.
No.
So, yeah. You,
Amidala?
Yeah. Oh, go on then. Yeah, you got it.
I didn't know you'd get that one. Jar Jar Binks.
That's how good it was. You had to say the name of the character as soon as you did it. Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. Oh dear.
That. Classic. Brilliant. Yeah. So 4 points for that.
Okay.
Oh, fucking hell, I could have said Anakin Skywalker and that would have got me a person in the picture.
You could have done, yeah.
Yeah, it would have.
I didn't even see him over there.
Yeah.
That's because you're too busy waiting for your text message off Ray. Okay, on to the next one.
I'll give you a clue, there's no characters available to see. But if you can name one of the vehicles in this shot, I will let you have that.
Is the Death Star a vehicle?
I would say so.
I would call it a spaceship, which would mean...
Well, the other one is Millennium Falcon.
That is true.
Yeah, so you got 3 points then there, and can you give me the name of the movie?
There's a TIE fighter down there as well. Okay, so with the Death
How the
Star...
fuck did you spot that TIE fighter? Fucking hell, you couldn't see fucking Queen Amidala, but... Anyway.
Do you know why I struggled with Amidala? Because I had fucking Armadillo in my fucking head.
Oh, wait, Armadillo.
Right,
Peter Kay, then.
That's Amarillo. Amarillo, by the way. Yeah. So what was the question? What episode is this?
Yeah. It's the name of the game, Steve.
This is number 3. No,
Next image.
number 4. It's number 4. It was the first original film.
Last image.
Oh, so it's not even that one. Jesus, right? Okay.
No, the Death Star. It's number 4.
So you're getting last image now, and it's your last chance.
I'm going straight to the last image for you.
Yeah.
You know, who's holding that lightsaber?
I think it's a laser bolt.
I've got a feeling he may have got his episodes mixed up.
It's your last chance, Steve.
Either that, or Ray's decided to screw him. Fucking been caught. That's Ray, that is. You bore back.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's your answer?
Number 4.
No.
Sorry, this is episode 6. That's the Death Star 2. Number 4
That's
is the
why it's
original
not-
Death Star.
That's why it's not fully built.
Yeah, it's still under construction. Oh, I'm lucky there, mate. So at least you got 3 points for the Death Star and the Millennium Falcon.
3, no. Next picture, 4, no. Go straight to the end.
How many more we got, Dave?
Just one.
3 or 4.
Lovely.
Hang on, that's the wrong one. No, it's not. It's the right one. It's just showing a different colour.
Yeah.
At least I think it's the right one.
Is it? I don't know if it's the right one or not.
I don't think. Let me check.
Hang on.
No, it's the wrong one. Hang on, it's the wrong one.
Oh, sorry. Doo-doo-doo.
Told you I might have problems with this. Okay. Hang on. Is that the right one? That doesn't look the same as what I've got on my screen.
Hang on. I'll tell you.
Oh no, there it is. Hang on, there it is.
Which one are we looking at?
this
Just
one.
wait. Just
This
wait.
one. That one.
There we go.
That's the right one. Just to confuse you a bit more, that's all.
Remember, name of an episode, and if you can give me a name of a character.
Empire Strikes Back.
Right. Next image, Dave.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh Jesus, with how long it took me to get the first one. Right, okay, this should be the right picture. Get ready for the kicking himself.
Okay, so you got Ray. There you go. There's the character.
Yeah.
And do you know what it did? What did me, and why I thought it was Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah.
Left hand side forest, and I'm thinking they were like what looks a bit like
Dagobah
walkways.
Yeah. Right. So, can you give me the name of the episode?
7.
Well done.
2
Bloody hell.
points. Well done.
Yeah. Well done. So yeah, 4 points in total. Right. Next one, Dave.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Make sure I send the right one. Would help.
I'll give you a clue here, Steve. I will not accept Stormtrooper as a character.
In that case, then I'm not going to bother guessing at a character. I don't think.
But if you have a look though, you might be able to tell what's going on. If you have a look, all the Stormtroopers are aimed. I'll give you a clue. You can see somebody in the background on the right, got their hands on their head.
The background on the right. You mean the left?
No, on the right. I've just seen it.
I've got to zoom in to see that.
Yeah. I'll give you 10 seconds to give me an episode and a character.
Luke Skywalker.
Nope.
Next
picture.
image.
That was just a random guess. That was.
You're gonna kick yourself on this one as well. Shit, I've lost my pictures. There we go. What was that tune I was humming a moment ago?
The Imperial March.
Oh right, okay.
Oh, Darth Vader.
2 points. Can you give me the name of the episode?
Oh, fuck it. Empire Strikes Back.
Next image.
That ain't gonna help.
You never know. It might. It might.
Something might trigger your brain. You might be like, oh yeah, now I can see it.
Oh look, man with hands on his head. I can see it.
Well, it's not 1, 2, 3 because he wasn't Darth Vader yet.
Mm.
He died at the end of 6.
Mm.
So I'll guess at 5.
It's 4.
Oh, unlucky.
It's
You've
on
already
Princess.
said 5. You've already said 5.
Empire
You said Empire
Strikes
Strikes Back. Yeah, you said 5. Yeah.
It's Princess Leia's ship, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Tantive 5. Yeah, it's sorry, a Tantive 4. Yeah, it's the blockade runner right at the very start where it flies overhead, and then the Star Destroyer follows it, and then they end up getting aboard, and then he's like choking out the bloke, and it's weird 'cause he's called Summit Antilles is his name, because then when C-3PO and R2-D2 bump into Luke Skywalker, he goes, "Oh, were your last master?" He goes, "Oh, our last master was Captain Antilles," and apparently that's the same guy. But then it's like as if Antilles is some sort of really popular name, because then there's an X-wing pilot called Wedge Antilles, and he's in all 3 of the original trilogy, and he ends up like fucking. But anyway, it's just weird that
and there's
2
Darth
characters
Vader
have the same
giving
surname.
it, take me to your leader.
Yeah, he's basically saying, "Don't bullshit me. Where's the fucking plans?"
Okay.
we don't have any.
On to the next one. Okay, there's a few more left than what I thought. Told you, loads of pictures. So when I open it up to send them, there's loads there to see.
BB-8.
That's 3 points.
3 points. Give me the name of the movie.
I'm gonna have a guess at the 8th one here.
Bloody hell!
He's
6
gone
points. Ding, ding, ding.
It would have been easy to go with 7 there, but
Force
no.
Away. Yeah. I did think he wanted him in 8 much, so I thought, oh, we might go for 7. Yeah, well done.
Okay. On
Oh yeah, that's a bit where he was going dead fast, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He says, "Go get the ship ready."
And then they end up getting blown back.
Yeah.
Backfire. That's what I feel like when I walk in.
After a curry.
Yeah, when I walk in the bathroom, and I'm like,
After Vicky's been in there.
yeah. It stinks. I get blown back like fuck.
Do you not find as well the next time she's like, "Go on, just go down there"? It makes you think, but I don't want to because I know what fucking I know what you can create. By the way, James, when you have a child and it's a boy, if you do not call it Luke, you are a failure as a man, because you at some point have got to be able to go, "No, Luke, I am your father."
Yeah, I know. Either that or Anakin. I don't know why I like Anakin anyway, but it's never going to happen. Vicky's going to be like, "Nah, it's not happening."
We're not having a Star Wars name. We could call him Star Wars.
I might even change the middle name. Might be Skywalker.
Right, Anakin's in this one as well.
Bloody hell! Well
Jesus,
done.
He's on the left-hand side.
Bloody hell! You got the hardest one to get.
Well, The easiest one is the guy Samuel L. Jackson with a purple lightsaber, but I can't remember his fucking name. Is it Dooku?
No, you said
no.
Dooku
You
earlier.
mentioned him earlier with
I know,
the white
earlier.
old guy. That was Christopher Lee.
Yeah, that was Christopher Lee. So, what was Samuel L. Jackson's character's name?
Well, now you've answered Anakin. That's fine. It's
Anakin.
Mace Windu.
That's it, Windu. Dooku Windu. Yeah.
But yeah,
I know he was in one with a purple lightsaber.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you've got that one. Can you give me the name of the episode?
This is the second episode.
Bloody hell, he's getting good, isn't
He's
he?
on fire.
Ding, ding, ding. You get 6 points there. Episode 2. I can't believe you got Anakin there. He's even got a replacement green lightsaber there.
Right. Okay. On to the next one then.
That's Luke Skywalker.
3 points. Can you give me the name of the movie?
Have you done some Photoshop to this picture?
Nope.
Nope.
Other than the big scribble on.
yeah, obviously. Okay, I'm gonna guess at number 6.
Next image.
Oh, I thought it was just before he had his hand chopped off.
Was a good guess.
What?
You've no idea how happy James is with himself at the moment.
Okay, I'll guess at number 5.
Next picture.
Oh, well. No. Well
Oh.
done. Yeah. Number 5. So you got Luke Skywalker, number 5. Yeah.
Hang on,
And
hang
that
on. What is the image?
What do you mean, what is the image?
It's Luke Skywalker, but when?
Fuck knows. It looks like he's got his head inside Darth Vader's helmet.
And you would have been right had you said that.
That's why I asked if it'd been photoshopped.
No. Because if you watch Empire Strikes Back, I don't know if you remember, there's a cave, and he goes into it and he fights Darth Vader in the cave. And it's like a slow motion fight. And as he swings his lightsaber back around, it clips Darth Vader's head, and his head falls off, and he just falls to the ground. And then when he looks at the mask, it explodes, and he sees himself inside the mask.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Force trying to basically say,
Darth
Darth
Vader
is part of you, but not giving him the entire answer of he's your dad.
Yeah.
But it's trying to say what you're gonna fight is part of you. Which is I personally think stuff like that. Forget all the fucking dialogue. Give me more shit like that where it's like, hang on, what the fuck's this?
Yeah.
It
So
makes
that's
your
like the
mind
Force.
think.
See, I always thought the Force was something you could use, where the Force is using itself.
The Force
To feed
is
him.
The Force is
It's like a
everywhere
vision,
and everything.
Yeah, it's like a bit of a vision for him. But yeah, fucking love that image.
Okay. On to the next one.
Oh, was this another one? You sure this is Star Wars? It's not like Ben
Yeah,
Hur or
I'm
something.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Can you name me a character?
I will go with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, so that's 3 points. You got 1. And can you give me the name of the episode? I'll give you 10 seconds.
It's one of the first 3. So I'll go with
9, 10.
the third
Need an
one.
answer now.
Third one.
Next image. Next image, Dave.
It's on its way in a moment when I can find it. Steve's now thinking, fuck, I thought Obi-Wan Kenobi was the one on the left.
This is number 1.
Oh, well done. If I find that Ray's been just sending you all the answers, I'm going to go.
Yeah, James, should we offer him a bonus point if he can name another character that's in that shot?
Yeah.
I
If you
can't
can
remember
name
what
another
his
character that's
fucking
not-
name is.
Not the one you can see.
How am I going to name one I can't see?
You can kind of see his arm, I think.
A little bit.
Maybe both arms, I think.
I think the bonus point might have to go. You can see his leg as well. Bonus points are gonna go now.
No, I don't know.
You're gonna kick yourself.
Here we go.
You're gonna kick yourself.
Ooh.
But even if I see the full image, I won't be able to tell you.
Oh, you will.
Darth Maul.
Told you you will.
Yeah.
Okay. There's one more.
One more.
What the fuck? Is that one of yours or Vicky's?
What episode is this?
Yeah.
Do you want me to name a character?
If you can name a character
can.
as well.
Han Solo.
Ooh, bloody hell.
That'd be
don't
six.
offend the fans.
I was gonna say that'd be 6 points though.
Because it's Solo, the movie.
Yeah, well, I think this could also be for episode 8 as well. Kind of.
Yeah.
Down the tube.
Good.
Apparently, well that leads us. Can we get that image? Oh fuck! I were eating earlier as well.
Yeah, I said,
proper felt sick.
I said that to James.
But yeah, apparently there's been a bit of a shake-up at Lucasfilm. You know, we're mentioning that like a few of the people that work there are just like putting in like random tweets to like people like kicking off, even though they work for Lucasfilm. Well, apparently this Bob Iger, who's the head of Disney, has sat down with like a conference call with all heads of Lucasfilm, but not only heads of Lucasfilm, heads of like Marvel Studios and all sorts of people at the high up top brass at Disney, and it was basically a big conference call between him and Kathleen Kennedy, the head of Lucasfilm. I bet that would have been fucking dynamite to be in on. Because at the end of the day, Solo's made fucking hardly any money. And after episode 8, no offense, but nobody really gives a crap. I mean, I'm a hardcore Star Wars fan. I've now started just listening to old expanded universe audiobooks that are from like the 90s that Disney have said they're not canon. I'm more interested in stuff like that than what they're producing now. And I think today at work I was listening to it were a bit of a like media event around 1995-ish, 96, and it were a video game, a book, and a comic series. They even released a soundtrack, which was stuff used on the game, and audio book as well. And it was called, you might remember it, before the original trilogy were re-released as a special edition. I think it was called Shadows of the Empire. And I listened to that audio book today, fucking brilliant. And I was just like, you know what? I think I'll much prefer just listening to random stuff like this, because it's stories about characters and stuff that you want to know about, rather than fucking Rose Tico, that Chinese girl, doing fucking stupid things like saving Finn when he's trying to save everybody by sacrificing himself. Fucking saving him and then going, we're going to win this fight by not fighting what we hate but saving what we love, and then kissing as a laser bolt is blowing up all their friends in the background. Why was nobody sat there at Lucasfilm going, is it just me, or is this fucking mental? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Well, that's the world.
I'm not ranting.
You are. That's the world we live in.
You know that they've ditched all the other films like Kenobi and Boba Fett films.
I think
even though they were in post-production.
Yeah, they were in pre-production. I think that was Bob Iger basically putting his foot down and going, I don't trust you anymore. We need to change things up, because quite clearly this isn't fucking working.
Yeah, too wrong.
Because at the end of the day, Star Wars is a brand that before Christmas I was so pumped for. I were going, oh, what do you think might happen? What do you think might happen? Whoa, no. 6 months later, I couldn't give a shit. I love the brand. I hate the way it's run now.
Yeah.
And it's like, for a hardcore Star Wars fan to be in the mind frame I am, I should be out buying the fucking merchandise, getting fucking all sorts of stuff, you know,
Star Wars
filling
condoms
Disney's pockets
that glow in the dark.
Yeah. But I'm not. I'm finding myself wanting to look at other stuff, like, for example, sent you that image
Rachel Riley.
Almost a very, very grizzled Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor in
the new
Jim Cameron's Terminator 3.
Yeah.
I think that, stuff like that where I'm like, well, at least it's a singular vision. Yeah, he might not be directing it, but he's overseeing it, so it's quite clearly coming from his point of view.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just kind of wish that Star Wars would get somebody in there who's going to go, right, I'm overseeing all creative things to do with the movies, and I'm a hardcore Star Wars fan and I've been all my life. Somebody like that, rather than people who are like, I'm here to set out my agenda that women are amazing and men are shit. Because at the end of the day, no offence, Star Wars fans, probably about 70% of the Star Wars fans are male. So you're just alienating your audience.
Yes, and I'm going to alienate the both of you in a moment as well. Just to let that sounds so wrong. Just to let you know, Steve, I don't know how many out of
Good
a
job
possible.
You pronounced it right.
Yeah. I don't know how many possible points were available for Steve there, but he did manage to score.
He got a lot.
66.
Well done.
Very
well done.
15 times 3, 70 odd ish. I don't know.
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah, no, brilliant. That very, very well done.
Okay, right. Would you like to play a game?
Oh God, go on then.
Well, interestingly, James doesn't know about this either. So, James, would you like to play a game?
Yeah, go on then. Yeah.
Now, I don't think you're going to touch Steve's score from earlier on, but I will keep score of them. Okay, now the game you've just played, it had a title, didn't it? What was the title?
Name the episode.
Name the episode, and you also said it was a bit like what?
A bit like catchphrase.
A bit like catchphrase. So how about we play a Dave's version of catchphrase?
Bring it on.
Which pretty much is exactly that. It's kind of like catchphrase, but on a much smaller budget. So basically, I'm going to show you guys an image, and you have to give me the catchphrase. It's as simple as that. But you know me, so it's not going to be as simple as that. The first one, whether you get it or not, will basically show you how this game's going to go. Now, for anyone that's listening in or watching, feel free to have a go yourself. I'm not going to be able to keep an eye on your answers. I know that Steve will, because he's a sneaky little bastard. So if you get it right, well done. If you don't, oh well, try the next one. Okay, so I'm going to show it on the podcast, and I will send a picture to you guys. So basically, it's catchphrase, so all I want is the catchphrase. So the first one to get it gets the point.
Shit in a ball.
Shit in a bowl. No, that's the previous Star Wars picture. James.
Solo. Sorry. I thought.
I can tell you, it's nothing to do with Star Wars.
And cuff mud. Cuffs mud. I don't know. Muddy cuff. Handcuff, mud. I don't know. Fuck you, tell.
If you
Steve, say something.
If you're handcuffed, what are you?
You dirty.
Can see how your mind works.
Naughty cuffs.
The way this is going, I am going to be able to have a look, see if anyone puts an answer on YouTube.
Fucking hell, I don't know. What do you think, Steve?
It's a famous catchphrase. Steve?
Is he there? Where is he?
Is he on mute?
Is he not here?
I think we've lost him.
Oh my god, we've started the game without him.
Oh, I think I've just lost the call. Okay, bear with me, folks. I'll try and call them both back. Nice ringtone. I wonder if their internet's gone down. Okay, well, while I try and get them both back in, if you're listening, folks, feel free to have a guess at this catchphrase. Oh, I think I have somebody back in with me. Let me turn the volumes up. Hello?
I'm back. Is Steve back? Hello? Is Steve back?
I think it might still be phoning, Steve. I can only guess that his internet must have gone down, or his phone's died.
Bloody hell.
Because I don't think he's actually seen the first picture.
No, I don't either.
I heard him laughing at you, and then...
Yeah, I thought he were here, but then he's disappeared.
Gives you more chance of getting this one then, James.
It's probably... Oh, God, no. All I can... Cuffs and muddy cuffs. I don't have a clue. Cuffed up scum.
Handcuffed up scum.
Has any of the YouTube listeners got it?
No one's had a guess yet that I've seen. Nope.
Right. I think it is a bit difficult, this one.
Well, you gotta think how my mind works. You see, although it's a pair of handcuffs, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be hand or cuffs. If you're handcuffed, what are you?
Nicked. You're handcuffed. You're going down. You're going deeper underground.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, he's back.
Where the fuck have you been?
Don't know, my Wi-Fi dropped out.
Okay, have you seen the picture then for catchphrase? Because we have no idea at which point you lost us.
You said, do you want to play a game? And I said, yep. And we were going to play catchphrase, and then I went.
Alright, okay, well we're still on the first picture. James still ain't got it. We didn't even know you weren't here until James was going, Steve, come on, say something. What do you think it is? Nothing. So, catchphrase, say what you see. James is stuck.
Okay, so alright, okay.
It's a catchphrase.
What comes to mind? Well, what we've got, handcuffs and mud.
I can tell you, it's not dirty cum muffs or dirty cuffs mud.
What guesses was James already had?
Oh, you'll have to listen back to it. Are you still with us, James? Well, don't tell me we've lost James. Oh, there we are.
Muddy cuffs, wasn't it?
Muddy cuffs.
Some boggy cuffs.
No.
Good cop, bad cop.
No.
Dirty cops.
Filthy pigs.
Dirty pigs.
Dirty pigs.
I'm going to have to give you a really big clue now, right? If you're wearing handcuffs, you're probably imprisoned or being imprisoned, and if you're being imprisoned, you are stuck.
Yeah.
Stuck in the mud.
Stuck in the mud.
Oh, they never got that. You should have shown somebody stuck in the mud.
That'd have been too easy.
Yeah, but cuffs. All I'm thinking is handcuffs. Fuck. I'm as clueless as Bella. Bella's just staring at me with a ball in mouth like what?
Okay, but at least now you know my mentality. What you might see, it might have a slight different...
I know now I'm not going to get any of these right.
You might do. Okay, on to the next.
So I'm Mr. Obvious when it comes to all like this.
On to the next one. See what you see.
Stuck in the mud.
Stuck in the
You sent the same one.
No, I haven't. It's not come through yet. No,
there we go. Smokers ? No smoking.
No.
Done.
Nearly, but no.
Thinking about smoking?
No. It's a good guess. Keep trying.
No thoughts.
No.
Thoughtless.
No. Look at the first picture first. It'll help you. And it's a catchphrase.
Smoking makes you thick.
No. Admittedly, the second picture is a little. It's more of a. Get the first one, and the second one is a question rather than smoke ? That doesn't make any sense and makes it worse. I know.
Smoking kills ?
Smoking kills?
No.
No smoking allowed.
Nearly, but no.
Stop smoking.
No.
No smoking inside.
Oh, no.
No smoking outside.
No.
No smoking in public places.
No.
No smoking in the petrol station.
No. And since when has that been a catchphrase? Come on, think catchphrase.
Smoker's paradise.
Nope. I might have...
Smoker's corner.
No, I'm going to have to give you a big clue on the first one, and you've said it many times. The first picture is basically no smoke.
Without fire.
Without fire. No smoke.
What?
Without fire. So
you need some flame.
True, but it'd have been too easy. Okay.
It's impossible. What do you mean too easy?
The second picture should have been fire.
You say it's impossible. Okay, let's see if you get this one. Cool. You know my mentality. So
basically,
just see what you see. Just see what you see.
I see a question mark. What's a question mark got to do with no smoke without fire? That should be an exclamation.
No smoke without what?
Oh no.
Shrimp Barbie.
Nope.
Oh, throw another shrimp on the Barbie.
Throw another shrimp on the Barbie.
Oh, bollock. I was still looking at the last image.
Oh dear. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one.
See, that one worked.
Yeah. Oh my god. Hang on. Okay, that's the one. Okay, here's your next one. Oh, I think my internet's running slow. It's taking a while to send a picture.
Here we go.
Blowing your own trumpet.
Nope. Not so much a catchphrase, this one. Probably more statement or question.
So that's Stewie, isn't it?
It is Stewie, yes.
All I'm thinking of with Stewie and an instrument is when the fat man walks past and he walks behind him and going. He's like, stop it! This is a medical thing. He's like trying to give excuses to where it's that.
I haven't got a clue with this one.
Do you need a clue?
Yeah.
What is Stewie doing?
Looking on the internet. Daydreaming.
In what situation?
Is it work?
Well, is it work?
And another name for work? Come on, guys, seriously. What's another name for work?
Job. Blowjob.
Blowjob.
Bloody hell. No way.
Oh,
as if I didn't get that. Jesus.
Okay, on to the next one. I thought I'd made these too easy. Obviously not.
I'd have probably got that easier if it had just shown like a girl. Just showing a girl gipping or something like.
Okay, on to the next one when it sends it you.
Monopoly in half. Two halves of a deal.
No.
Trying to think here.
thought this would be the one you'd get instantly.
I know, but we're on about me and James here.
Yeah. We've got the mental age of 10 combined. So.
A game of two halves.
A game of two halves.
Fucking hell. Steve, you're just going to bleep. Yeah, there's no way I can.
You got to get this one, James.
Couldn't even get a blowjob. Come on, guys.
You've got to get this one. My internet is running slow.
Is anybody out there?
Nope.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Help.
It's not that.
In the ocean, nobody can hear you scream.
That's in space. Nobody can hear you scream.
Yeah. Somebody's shouting, but nobody's there to hear it, or something like that.
What you want to do is say what you see.
Somebody wanking?
No,
Sounds like Dave.
sorry. It's me leg.
Some Rachel Riley pictures.
It's me leg doing a Christian order.
Rachel Riley on that bike. Oof.
Let's come on. Say what you see.
Cool Waters.
No. Come on. All you got to do is say what you see.
Shout see.
Say what you see.
A wet woman.
No. All you got to do.
Hand to mouth makes you gush.
No. Come on.
I don't know.
Come on, say what you see.
I don't know.
Are you giving up?
I don't either. I don't know.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because say what you see.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck
for
off.
fucking hell.
Oh, I know I'm going to get revenged on for this, but that was quite funny for me. Okay, you got to get this one. You got to get this one. Things I spent most of that last one saying, say what you see, say what you see. Okay, so think catchphrase.
Catchphrase.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Exactly, James. Well done. That's not a
Yeah.
knife. That's a fucking knife.
It's like a hedge trimmer, doesn't it? For a penis.
Okay, I've only got a couple more.
God, she looks well angry. Fucking
She
hell.
does, doesn't she? That's why I picked that picture instead of the bold man
Jesus.
holding a big knife. Okay, on to the next one then. Say what you see. I can't believe you didn't get to say what you see.
Nice material.
Nope.
Grab a vase of all colours.
I can't say I've ever heard that, but now I'm probably going to use
It's
it.
a new phrase I've just coined.
Every little helps.
No.
United Colours of Benetton.
Nope. It's a phrase, that's for certain.
Grab rolls. Grab
Swiss rolls.
No. I will give a clue if it's needed.
Yeah, it's needed.
Yeah.
Which picture would you like a clue on?
I think the other one's grab, so I'll go with the rolled up material.
Mm.
Okay, I'll give you the answer for that picture. Cloth.
Touching cloth.
Touching cloth. Oh,
Oh dear. Okay, on to the last one. This is the last, the last one.
Turtle's head.
Go on.
Shitting head of a turtle here.
Nearly.
Oh.
Turtle, yes. Scenario, yes. Phrase, not quite right.
Touching cloth.
No. Come on, James. Turtles.
Shitting out a there's a turtle's head, aren't we? I don't know.
What did you used to do on Facebook years ago?
Turtle's head poking out.
Yes! Turtle's poking his head out. Well done. Well done. 6-2.
I was like that earlier at work.
Oh dear. Now you two may not have enjoyed that. I did. Especially Steve, you're gonna have to listen to James's first group of guesses that you didn't hear.
Cuff mud.
Filthy cuff mud.
Muddy cuffs. Filthy. What are you when you caught by police? Filthy. Dirty.
That was the answer. It says, I'll give you a clue. What happens if you're wearing cuffs? You're filthy. You dirty bastard. Oh, well done though. Well done. Okay. Oh dear, that made me laugh. I enjoyed that. But you were unlucky, James. You got battered 6-2.
I did.
I still can't believe that neither of you got to say what you see. I thought of all of them, that'd be the instant got. I don't know. Well, I know James is yawning. I must admit I'm feeling a similar way. This is the latest I've been up for 4 days, so I'm going to recommend we get on to doing our predictions for Austria, guys, and we can talk about Austria next Tuesday, I reckon.
Might be a good idea.
So we're going to need to think up a couple of predictions to do, other than the usual ones. So I'll give you a moment to think about possible predictions. It is in Austria, so anything is possible. Your pen's running out. That is also possible. Okay, so Steve, who do you think will take pole position?
Hamilton.
Why am I not surprised you reverted? James, who do you think is going to take pole?
Hamilton.
Hamilton, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go different. I'm going to go Vettel.
Steve, what you got?
I'm with Hamilton.
No, we're on about the food.
Indian chili and lime naan chips.
Fair enough. Okay, Steve, who do you think is going to win the race in Austria?
Hamilton.
James?
Hamilton.
You know what? I'm going to change my poll. I'm going to go with Verstappen. And I'm going to go with the Ricciardo win. Okay, podium, Steve.
Hamilton, Bottas, Ricciardo.
James.
Hamilton, Vettel, Raikkonen.
Okay, I'm going to go Ricciardo, Hamilton, Bottas. Okay, first to crash out.
Lance Stroll.
He's been improving. He's been crashing out later on in the races.
That's true.
But yeah, I'm not gonna say Lance Stroll because James has. I'm gonna go with Verstappen.
You see, I was going to go with Verstappen. That's why he's not won my race. But seeing as you've said Verstappen, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Grosjean.
That's a safe bet, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to need a couple of predictions to do then, guys. So, what are we thinking?
I bet you there's gonna be no overtakes after lap 5.
I think there will. I think there'll be quite a lot. Well, actually, maybe.
Well, earlier on, Dave, I was asking, this is before we came on air, whether you'd seen the weather forecast. Because the weather forecast is for pissing down rain all the way from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it's going to be wet.
I did not know that.
So does that change anyone's thoughts on the predictions?
No, not for me.
Yeah, same here. I'll stick with. Well, actually, as soon as you said it's going to be rain, I'll probably say there's going to be a fair few overtakes.
Here's one for you then, right? How about this? How many laps down will last place be?
Well, it'll be Lance Stroll, so it'll be about 7.
Okay, so most laps down. Then we'll do that. Most laps down. Don't necessarily have to name the driver, but if you can name the driver, then and bonus points.
I'm gonna say they're all finished on the same lap because if there's a safety car near the end, drivers are allowed to unlap themselves.
But not if they're 4 laps down. They can't do it 4 times.
No, but they still move out of the queue and move around to the back.
So
there could be quite a lot of safety cars and stopped and not racing and God knows what.
So you think there's going to be none laps down? Okay.
Everyone will finish on the lead lap.
Okay, James, you sticking with Stroll?
Yeah.
How many laps down?
6.
Oh. The thing is, though, on a track like that, that could be possible.
It's a short lap, isn't it?
Yeah.
It could happen. If it was a dry race, I'd probably agree with you, but there's a high chance of safety cars with it being a wet.
You know what? I'm going to go Sorokin 5 laps down. Okay, we need one more prediction then.
How many laps will there be behind the safety car throughout the whole Grand Prix? So in other words, the laps that are not raced, that includes virtual safety cars. So how many of the racing laps will not actually be racing laps?
So how many
30.
Fucking hell.
Jesus,
30.
that's like 40% of the race.
Yeah.
The thing is, if it's a wet start, you could easily have 10-15 laps behind a safety car.
Yeah.
Okay, Steve?
Well, I'll cut that in half and go 15.
I'm going to go for 4. So yeah, just 4.
44?
No. I'm going to go for 4. Okay, so that's happened.
Oh my god, sorry, I've just seen something on Twitter that just made me crack up. I just put, if Ryan Johnson made the original Star Wars A New Hope, I'll send you the picture now, it's just fucking hilarious.
Ooh, excuse me. What did you guys think, by the way, of Perez's wheel coming off?
I never really heard the full description from the team, but it sounded like it was something to do with inferior metal used or something.
I've just seen the picture that James just sent. That's pretty good, that. I've not heard what the outcome was. All I heard was the FIA were looking into something, debris getting in and causing a gouge, and that was all I heard. I mean, it's a concern. If the wheel nut was on and the wheels come off, that's a fucking problem. Anyway, maybe that's what one of the predictions should have been. Will a wheel come off? But
the wheels will come off for someone.
That is very, very true. Right, well, I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm just about burnt out.
Yep.
Oh, it's this heat. It's so hot. Oh man.
It is ridiculous, the temperature. The thing is, it's going to be hot here for at least the next 3 days. I think Monday we've got a potential of rain. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Watch, I'll go to Italy and it'll fucking rain all the time and it'll be blistering here.
Yep.
So when is it you go?
Tomorrow night, I think.
And what day do you get back?
He's organised it all. I think I get back on the Monday morning, so it's just 5 nights.
You'll be away for the Grand Prix then?
Yeah, I won't know much, so don't ruin it for me.
Okay.
If it's boring as shit, ruin it for me, I don't care.
Yeah. No problem. No problem at all. But, right. Okay, well I think it's time to bring this one to an end. I've got to say, highlight of the show for me tonight has partly been Steve disappearing without us knowing, neither of you getting a blowjob, and neither of you being able to say what you see.
I can't say what I see all the time, let alone in a game.
I am going to have a listen back to that though. That was good fun. Anyway, right, okay, so Austrian Grand Prix coming up this weekend. We're not going to preview it because we've reviewed that other shit race from the other day, France. And we shall review Austria on Tuesday. Not that James will know much because he's going to go to Italy to bang the missus for a few days.
Yeah, well, mainly to eat food.
Oh, right. Wasn't listening, yeah, and then realised what I'd said. Pizza and sun.
Yeah. Maybe what else do they do in Italy that's good? Pasta.
Make fast cars.
Yeah, fast cars, fast women.
Right, I'm sorry.
They're not very good at building buildings, so they start leaning over after so long.
Yeah, mind you, that Colosseum's lasted a long time, hasn't it?
It has, true. That is true. Anyway, right, time to bring it to an end for this evening, folks. So make sure you come and join us next Tuesday to see how we stitch each other up with whatever games may come around, and to see what we think about the Austrian Grand Prix. If you've enjoyed this, make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell your mates, or don't. It's up to you. We just do it for the crack. And make sure you check out James's Racing League, Forever Relentless Racing. There is a link in the description, and you can listen into his very interesting commentary. And hopefully in his next one, after he's been to Italy for a few days, he's going to be able to squeeze in a cannibalistic ball bag into his next commentary. So good luck with that one, James.
Yeah, cannibalistic ball bag, right?
Yeah.
No problem.
Yep, no problem.
And if you have to ask us what was it, we're going to add a third word in there.
if you have to ask us what was it, I'm going to give you the wrong answer. Anyway, have a good one, folks, and we shall catch you all later.
See ya.
Adios.
Blah 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 blah.